the sound is on.
Okay.
All right. So today we are looking at something special. We have these really cool lizards, and my guest is Sarah Worthington. She is there in the camera for you, and she's going to help us and also explain to us what's going on with these lizards. So we're going to do some dissection, just as a warning for anybody who might not want to see the inside of a lizard. We're about to look at the inside of a lizard. So if you want to come back a little bit later in the stream, our intention is to collect some of the parts from lizards before she does a bit of sort of looking around on the inside of them, and then, or during that part, and then we will put those things onto some SEM stubs and put them in a scanning electron microscope, and then we'll take a look at things like this, the scales, the claws, and some of the other parts. Try to see if there's any sort of a structural component to them that might be interesting. So my role in all of this is mostly, for the first part, to help answer questions that people might have, and sort of catch everyone up on what's going on and ask questions for Sarah to answer. So we're still sort of loading in, but I think live, right? Did you get a live message from it? I think we're live. Let me turn this. One other thing I should do is turn that off, so we're not hearing the sounds. And yeah, we're streaming.
Okay.
So,
That's good.
1 second while I get this end of things set up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to move our microphone over to Sarah so we can actually hear Sarah for most of this. So she can just talk normal instead of having to yell. And you should be able to hear her.
Hello.
And cool.
Yeah. All right.
So I'm going to turn off. I gotta do it from inside here. Yeah, I'm going to turn off that camera. And so it's just you and the lizards.
All right.
And I'm going to turn on the droid cam.
So, like Dr. Stone said, this is a dissection of a few different lizards. These were all previously dead and preserved. They were frozen, so we're working with them. I am going to warn you that all of these lizards have had their heads removed. So that part of the dissection is already done for us. The reason why the heads were removed is because they're part of a brain project. So we looked at we looked at their actual brains and also their eyes to see what kind of colors they can see with their eyes. So I didn't do that project, but that's what these lizards were were part of a project for. Let's see if I can do this. All right, so I have 3 lizards with me today. I do have the bottom jaws of 2 of the lizards, so that's kind of exciting. All right, so we have 3 lizards, and this is Scalopris yarovi, or the mountain spiny lizards, and I have, let's see, I have at least a male and a female, and another male, I believe. It's just really little. Yep.
Don't shame him like that.
He's a small. All right, he's a small lizard. In general.
Oh, you mean he's a small lizard?
He's a small lizard.
Okay, because you were checking about whether he was a male
right,
or not.
Okay.
You said he was small.
Okay, so
like
one of
already decapitated him.
One of the things that I'm looking for in the lizards is their scales, their post-anal scales. So they actually have the females. All the scales look the same. The males, they have a big anal scale on each side of their cloaca, just the general opening for a lizard. So you have 2 males and a female. These lizards are from Arizona. and I collected them with a permit, and they're all handled humanely, and I have lots of permits and all of that. So don't try this at home. Don't go catching lizards by yourself if you're not a trained professional. All of those disclaimers. Anyways.
We do have some questions that are starting to roll in.
All right, what do you got?
The first one is, what are we cooking today?
These aren't really great for eating. If you are going, if you're like trying to forage, these are not great, like to chew on.
So if I'm lost and alone in the wilderness and
this
naked,
is not what I'd pick.
Don't pick
No,
the lizards.
I would not pick these at all.
Why not?
No. Well, their legs are really scrawny. You're not going to get much muscle off of there. The male.
About if I ate the bones?
I wouldn't. No, I
Would you
wouldn't
choke on that?
eat the. Yeah, they're like fish bones, probably.
Oh, they're like hollow?
Yeah, no, they're not hollow, but they're probably get stuck in your throat.
Okay.
That would hurt.
So don't eat the bones.
Don't eat the bones.
When I see
Don't chew on the lizards.
people cooking lizards on a stick, it's not these kinds.
Yes. Yes? No? I don't know how to answer that. Oh, no. They are
Alright,
freshly prepared.
Let's see. Someone said poor lizard.
Yes.
Someone said
Yep.
hi. And then I've got an actual question here, or comment. Sexual dimorphism can be weird.
It can
So,
be.
Sexual dimorphism, for people who aren't familiar with that sort of language, is when male and female have different sort of physical aspects besides just their sexy bits that allow you to distinguish one from another. So for humans, for example, the sexy bits are different, but also like breast size and like maximum height, right? Like
Yep.
males typically, like the population can have a dimorphism where like most males are average, I think it's 5'8",
Yeah.
and most females are average 5'4",
5'4", something like that,
for
yeah.
height. That's in feet and inches for people who are coming from not America,
Yeah.
who might be viewing. But so that's our idea. Or if you look at like sexual dimorphism is really common in birds, and like where you have the male cardinal is bright red and the female cardinal is like a sort of a dimmer, blander red color,
Yeah.
right?
Sad brown.
A sad brown. They still have sort of a reddish color to them.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So these animals, these lizards do have sexual dimorphism. Sometimes in reptiles we see reverse sexual dimorphism, which means that the female is actually larger than the male. That's more common in things like snakes or turtles. Turtles especially, we see larger females than we do males. So that's one of those cool things. These lizards, they do not actually lay their eggs. They give live birth, which is really cool, and one of the things that I study about them.
That's neat.
Yeah. So the females, they mate in the fall.
I didn't even realize you had lizards that gave live birth.
Yeah, there's like a lot more than you think. A lot more reptiles give live birth than you would think. So that's super cool. Like water snakes give live birth, and pit vipers.
Look who's here.
Did anyone order some comedic relief? I love to see the lizards.
We got
Perfect.
we got some brownies. Help yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, the females are gravid. So gravid means pregnant. When we're talking about animals, we say gravid instead of pregnant. The females are gravid throughout the wintertime. And then again, we're in Arizona, so it's kind of the desert. It still snows there, so it gets a little cold. They hide in rock inside of big black rocks to stay warm. And then the females give birth in May and June to live little baby lizards that are about a gram. They're about the size of your thumbnail. They're adorable, I think.
When they
yeah.
have heads.
When they have heads, they are a lot more adorable when they have heads.
I should point out I have some images of these with heads that haven't been decapitated, but I want to. There's a couple of comments in here. So
Yep.
one of them is, let's see, I can't pronounce this because it's like BK Linra. They said they saw the title in their notifications and they couldn't get here fast enough.
Perfect.
Because they're excited. And then Table Sick Maniac says, or the heads are divided. I guess that's like in the sexual dimorphism comments that we were having.
Mm-hmm.
And Logan, who brought up the sexual, or sort of discussing about the sexual dimorphism idea, said in male Homo sapiens, the eyebrow ridges are bigger and thicker.
Oh.
In garter snakes give live birth. That was
Yep.
another comment that they had.
Yep, they're the same group as water snakes.
And they said they've had
Yep.
some experiences with stillborn.
Ah,
Uh,
right.
Unfortunately, I suppose.
That's interesting.
So, yeah, I've got the, I should point out, so here's Mallory, she's here visiting. On your vacation time?
Vacation's over.
Is it?
Vacation.
Okay.
It really is.
And then I've got some images that I think will pop up. There's one. So that's one of these lizards with an actual head when they have the head on them. Sorry. And that one's very friendly looking, right?
Yep, that's a female.
It's giving us the side. How can you tell?
I know her.
You.
Yeah, that was one of my previous animals that I did research with.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So her name is Moy. Just because
Moy?
Moy, because
Not Moya.
no, because the paint that we so we give them individual numbers, and to be able to tell them apart, we put some paint on them, just some water-based paint, and hers is M09, and it looked like Moy
Oh, okay.
when I wrote it
Is
out.
it the yellow
so.
stuff?
Yeah, that's the yellow stuff on her
Okay,
back.
okay.
Yep. But the blue on her face is all her.
That's real blue. You haven't painted
Nope.
the face.
Nope, I haven't painted her face.
Okay.
Nope.
And then I also have some like belly shots and other
Yeah.
things. I don't know if you want me to put
We
those
can.
up.
Yeah, we can look at those really quick. The males and the females of the species both have blue bellies. So one of those pictures, the one on the left, is a female, the one against the cooler, and then the one that's kind of doing like the skydiver thing, that's a male. He was not happy that I took him out of his really nice sun spot.
So, and the larger scales are like the thing near the tail.
Yeah. Yep.
The sort of like male organ area.
Yep.
The tail is kind of like got a triangle-shaped thing down there.
Yep. And
That's my technical term.
Yeah. So.
Because I know a lot about lizards.
Yeah, so they've got scales down there. The males also have a bulge along their tail, and that's where they're hiding their hemipenes,
Oh.
which are their reproductive organs. The
Sounds
females
like an
don't have
embarrassing name
hemipenes.
for their sexual organ.
Well, it just means that they have two.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. They're each half.
Each is a half?
Each is a half. Yep. Yeah. Hemipenes are very diverse in the reptile community.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have a whole...
I don't study them, but... Mm-hmm.
Let's not have the whole stream be about the
Nope.
male bits.
Nope.
Okay. Oh, it's Brooklyn R.A. Okay, gotcha. That's how you would pronounce that. It doesn't have... I guess the R is missing at the beginning, so it gets very confusing. Let's see. Logan Shush says, are mountain spiny lizards enigmas? Or how do you say it? The scales look similar to my Pogona viticeps.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't worked with enigmas before, so I don't know.
What's an enigma?
I don't necessarily know.
Oh.
So if you want to explain what an enigma is, I might be
Usually,
able
like,
to.
Enigma's like a weird thing, like
Yeah.
a question,
It's like a strange
mystery.
thing. Yeah, I don't know. But they're Scoloporus yarvi. They're native to Arizona, south the deserts, up in the mountains. They're related to western fence lizards. I've gotten that question already quite a few times.
That wasn't me, Daniel.
Wasn't me. But yeah, they're related to western fence lizards.
Maybe it was me.
They're also related to eastern fence lizards too. That we have here in Indiana. So.
And then I also have this. It's a baby.
It's a
right?
baby lizard. Yep, and I painted the purple on that one.
So that's again, just sort of show you when they're juvenile, they have sort of a different coloration,
Mhm.
and on the outside of their scales on the backs and stuff too, and their heads.
Yeah, and you can actually see its third eye on the top of its head there.
What?
Yes.
Do
Yep.
all of them have 3 eyes?
Yeah. Well, they're not 3 eyes. It's a spot where they can detect light. It's more well developed in Tuatara, which is not a lizard. It's closely
What?
related to lizard, but it's not a lizard. Yeah.
I didn't know we had organisms that were animals that had
Yeah, that white circle right on top of its head
Like a lizard.
is like a third eye.
Third eye, like a vertebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's like a light sensor basically.
It's a light sensor, yeah. It's
Yeah.
still covered in, it's a thin spot in the skull. It's still covered with skin. There's no lens, but it
Yeah.
can be used to sense light.
So that's sort of like where bees have their light sensing eyes, right? So they have like the big eyes that give them. I know you don't study bees.
I don't study bees, so I don't know.
Well, we've looked at bees in the SEM.
Oh.
And so they have these big compound eyes, which are the ones that people focus on.
Mhm.
But if you look closely at most insects, they also have like 3 little eyes that go across the middle of their head, and just sort of shaped, not quite like a little more forward than those, but a similar kind of concept where those are their light sensors and the other ones are their motion sensors and stuff.
Yeah.
BK Lynn asked, how do you know that that's what the spot is for? What kind of test determines that?
I don't study that, but other people have. This is more of a homologue to, so it's really similar in structure to what the tuatara has, which is a lot better studied. And the tuatara does have a third eye, perineal eye, that's peritoneal eye is up on its head. So
That's crazy.
yeah, it's cool.
So I'm sure that there's a bunch of like
There's all kinds of cool stuff.
optical nerve kind of components that must be coming in
Yep.
from the brain that that give it away as well. It's not just like it looked a bit like an eye, so I thought it was an eye.
Hey, sure.
So yeah, I mean I'm sure that's it. Oh, I see. It's a Gamidae. Did I say it?
Yep,
No.
Agamidae.
Yeah,
Agamidae.
it's a family.
Yep.
Like the genus Pogona is.
Oh, okay.
They're mostly called dragons, like the frilled dragon, bearded dragon, etc. And their tails can't come off and regrow.
Right, which these are not agamids. These are, I think, iguanids. I knew I should have looked this up ahead of time to make sure I had it straight. It's been a while since I've taken herpetology. But I think these are iguanids. They can lose their tails. I know that they can lose their tails. I've seen it. I've seen them regrown. But yeah, I think they're iguanidae.
Okay.
So.
That's just like the family level.
Yep, just a family name.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're just closely related, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. And Mama Bonbon is here. Hello, Mama Bonbon. And also, this table sick maniac with the diatom emotes coming up.
Alright. Okay, Alright. So these lizards, I mentioned before, these were used in some experiments, and I guess today we're continuing to use them in some experiments. We're using them for research. So their heads were chopped off because we wanted to look at their brains, and we also wanted to look at their eyes to see what kind of opsins they had to be able to see color. So that work is still being done. I don't know the results of it, so we're just gonna wait and see what the results are. But it is work that's being done. It's just really cool. These lizards in particular were actually implanted with some corticosterone, which is a stress hormone. So that's pretty interesting. These were a pilot study. I wanted to see when I implant the corticosterone implants into the lizards, does that actually increase the levels that's circulating in their system. So turns out it did, and I was able to run an experiment out in the field using some implants as well. So when we dissect them, we can maybe pop out one of the implants and see what they look like, which is cool because I only saw them going in. I have yet to see them coming out. All right. So I mentioned that they both males and females have belly patches. They have colored belly patches. The male has a nice belly patch that's still readily visible, so we'll look at that. We'll cut a piece out and look at it under the SEM. And then the female, her belly patch has kind of faded. It's still there a little bit, but it's... Oh, you guys can actually see it on the camera a lot better than I can see it with my naked eye. So that's cool.
If you want, there's the magnify
Yeah.
button.
There we go.
I can kind of zoom in on and see it pretty clearly.
There's a couple of questions. Cork Mark says, what science doesn't transfer well from
talk louder.
I haven't spoken to anyone in like 48 hours.
What doesn't translate well? I don't. If we're looking at blood, red blood cells in reptiles actually have nucleus inside of them, and red blood cells in mammals do not. So that's a big difference.
Dr. Cheese Weasel says, do they smell bad in their current state?
Do they?
Surprisingly not. That I can answer, because she told me that, oh, they might smell bad. And then when we came in and started setting up for the dissection part, I thought she was going to go get the lizards and come back because I couldn't smell them.
Yeah.
But also we had the masks on, so
Yeah.
I think that in this case might be a bit of a blessing.
Yeah.
But I haven't smelled them at all. So despite the fact that they're dead and they've been refrigerated since they were killed, right?
Yeah, they've been frozen for a while.
Frozen. So, but they're not frozen now, right?
No, they are very flexible. They have thawed.
Why am I invisible? I'm not invisible, dangling. Or not that I know of. I suppose I could be secretly.
We wouldn't tell you.
Right. If I had a superpower, though, that'd be a good one.
That would be a good one. Oh yeah, these are definitely thawing out. So we might get some.
We want them to thaw out, or we don't want
We want them to thaw out a little bit. It's just we might get a little bit more liquid coming out of them if they're thawed. So we might have a little bit of blood.
So we might want to get to dissecting.
Yeah, we might want
to
completely thaw.
Get too gory.
Yeah.
Mark wants to know how old they were when they were killed, and do you try and work with specific ages?
That is difficult to say. These lizards, as soon as they are a year old, they all look the same. Like, even if they're different sizes, I can't tell whether they are 1 year old or 3 years old or 4. It's really hard to tell. Because I thought that it was, after 1 year, they're kind of in the smaller size range. But that's not true, because last year I caught a lizard that was an offspring that I had marked before, and I knew it was a freshly born offspring, and it was in one of the larger sizes. So it's really, I guess, whatever they find.
Someone wants to know, someone who came in late wants to know if you cut the head off on cam.
I did not, no.
They wanted to,
Nope.
I guess they wanted to rewind.
I did not cut any
Can
heads
we back
off.
it up and see the part where we cut the heads off? No.
They came de-headed.
So the reason that they don't have heads is, she said that they were doing some prior experiments on the brains, right?
Yep.
So they had to behead them for that. But it was not related to what we're doing here.
Right.
So right now, Sarah is doing some incision.
Yep.
Just trying to like cut the skin free from the underlying muscle.
Well, there's a body wall there.
Oh, there's a body wall?
Yep.
Okay.
And then there's muscle.
Yeah.
Which the body wall is really thin. So I've already cut through it a little bit. But I'm really trying to get just some skin for right now. Because that's really what I'm interested in looking at under the SEM. So I'm going to cut down the midline here. Just because that's how we dissect things. We cut things down the midline. And I'm going to go to the pelvis, but I'm going to stay above it by just cutting the skin. I don't want to cut into any guts right now. I personally don't feel like looking at guts today.
You don't?
Not entirely. We can. But I'm not really a guts kind of person.
No?
I actually don't study diet at all. I'm fine with guts. That's just not what I study. Which is fine. Guts are cool. And they tell you a lot about the animal. It's just not what I do. So I am mostly interested in stressed out moms and how their offspring react to their mom being stressed out.
These are moms with heads attached.
Yes, when they are still alive.
So, how do you study how stressed out they are?
So in the first year of my research, I just went out to Arizona, captured some lizards from the wild, put them in enclosures that looked a lot like the wild, so semi-natural enclosures. They were just kept separately and all in one spot, so I could look at them easier. And then I would take blood samples right when I caught them. I would wait then until they gave birth, and I would take a blood sample 3 days after they gave birth, measure her, measure the offspring, take some pictures, and then I do the same thing all over again about 2 weeks after she gave birth.
You have a bunch of questions.
Okay.
Would it have been the same if you used frogs?
No. I don't know.
Which
no.
part?
That's just the question. I
Oh.
don't know.
No.
And when the context is, like if you're dissecting them, or...
So frogs, as far as dissection, I'd do the same thing to dissect a frog. But as far as research, frogs and lizards are actually really different.
Because frogs are amphibians.
Yep, amphibians and reptiles are a lot more different from each other than people realize. Lizards are closer to birds.
Quarkmark asked, anatomically, does this species have anything particularly unique internally?
I don't think so internally. There's not any. It's really just a lizard inside once you remove its jacket.
It sounds so casual when you say it like that.
Yeah.
We're just gonna take its jacket off.
It's just, that's all I'm taking. These, like I mentioned, these lizards do give live birth, so that is really cool. So the female's reproductive tract is a little bit more developed than than a lizard that would just lay eggs. But other than that, there's not a whole lot going on. If the females were gravid, so if they were pregnant, they wouldn't have very much of a digestive tract.
Breaded shrimp says, pull the heart out, it's probably so small.
It is probably still. We'll look at the heart. We will look at that.
Just not gonna cut the intestines open.
Yeah, we don't need to.
We don't need to see.
I know what these lizards.
This one into a poop stream.
Right. So these these were in captivity, so they were fed crickets. I know what these lizards were eating. All right.
Kale Thon said it'd be stressful to not have a head.
Yes.
That's debatable.
Mama Bon
They seem pretty
said
relaxed.
that we're not seeing guts today. Some fox emotes, grumpy.
All right. So I'm gonna try to cut a piece of skin that doesn't have. I really should have. I guess I could have cut the middle part of the belly first, but that's okay.
Clark Mark wants to know what your hypothesis is for your research.
Oh, I've got lots of hypotheses. So, let's see. That stressed out. So, some of my thoughts are that the corticosterone levels, and I also measure testosterone too, that the corticosterone levels, those stress hormones, will affect the offspring behavior. So these females are actually aggressive towards other females right when the babies are born. Like right around the same time. Which would lead one to think, I wonder if they're protecting their babies. So I'm really curious to see that, if the offspring may be hanging around because mom offers a little bit of protection for them. I'm also curious, one of the other options for why she's so aggressive is because when they have babies in their belly, they can't eat a whole lot. So she might just be really, really hungry and mad. Because we can all relate to that.
That's how I get every time we get to the end of a stream.
Right? So hungry. I just
like
want
I skipped lunch for this, and then I'm super hungry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure about the mad part. I guess I do get a little hangry.
I mean, I'm mad if people are like in my way between me and food.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue. Alright, so here's some skin from a knot. patch. That should fit on there, right?
Yeah,
All right.
should be good.
So we'll look at that.
Skin from a what?
From not the patch.
Not the patch.
Not the
Oh,
patch.
like outside of
Outside
the
of the patch.
Okay, so part of what we're going to be looking at today is when we look at the lizard skin in the SEM is there's a patch on the belly
Yep.
area that can turn blue. Is that right?
Yep.
And we're going to be sort of looking at, like, is there structurally any difference between the blue patch and the not blue patch?
Yep.
Right, so hopefully we'll see some difference, but maybe there isn't any.
Maybe there isn't any. There very well might not be any difference at all.
But it'll still be pretty cool to see some lizard scales up close.
Yeah. All right. I know I just cut into the body wall on that one, but that's okay. Yeah, so these lizards, when their patch is showing, ooh, and there's the part with patch. When their patch is showing, it's actually chromatophores, which are cells that can produce color, that have pigment in them. The cells relax and they can show the pigment, and then the light bounces off the pigment. And if they're not showing their patch, it just kind of bounces off their whole scale. And then the black patches, I don't know this as well, but their body wall is also sometimes black, especially in the males. So the outlines of their scales might just be the body wall reflecting off. So, all right, so that's 2 pieces of lizard skin. Kind of looks like fish skin.
It does look a little bit like fish.
Yeah.
You know, we've looked at fish scales before in the SEM, but just like, you know, a few isolated scales.
Yeah.
Not a fish dissection.
All right. So this lizard is also missing some toes because I cut those off. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I cut off those toes.
Did they offend you?
No, but they did help me understand which lizard is which.
Oh, for clarity.
Yeah, for identification.
Okay.
Yeah, because lizards, they might regrow their tails, but they do not regrow their toes.
You cut it off while it was alive?
Yes.
I'm calling someone. I don't know who I'm calling.
You be careful, because if she doesn't recognize you, off come some of your toes.
Yeah, so
The lizard owe you money.
common practice, it doesn't hurt.
The lizard owe you money.
And then Kaelon said that's 3-toed Larry.
It was not a cigar cutter. These are way too big. Never mind. I'm not going to think about that. Anyways, yeah, so we cut off just the tip of their toe, just enough so that the claw doesn't grow back, because their claws are just like nails, they grow. And that's to be able to identify them. So we cut off certain toes for each individual, so each toe has a number assigned to it, and different lizard researchers have completely different numbering schemes. So when you're out in the field and you recapture a wild lizard, you better hope it's yours. Because if another lizard researcher decided to also work there and cut off toes of lizards, you are now on their numbering scheme.
Oh no.
So you have no idea whose lizard is whose. So that's why
They've only got so many toes.
Yeah, they only
What
have.
happens when you have more than 10 lizards?
So they're fine. They're fine living and like living a normal life if they have at least 3 toes on their feet. So you can cut off 2 toes.
Oh, okay. So you have up to 20 lizards you could study, and then there must be some iterations.
You can do it really. It's interesting
Yeah.
because you can get different like numbering schemes
Cut
that
off
are
the
actually.
different toes.
Well, yeah, you have number schemes that are actually like addition. So like maybe each hand stands for a different decimal place.
Yes. Now it's like a number matrix,
It is.
and literally counting it on their fingers.
Yeah. But the math part of it gets really interesting. I like math, so. But yeah, we can cut off a lizard toe and look at it under the SEM.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't think that we have to worry about this lizard living or not, so take a toe.
I think a toe already came off.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. That looks like a toe. It is a toe. So there you go. I don't have to.
It just came off?
Well, I might have clipped it when I cut some of the skin off.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not being super careful. I'm not being very careful about where I'm cutting.
You're roughly.
As long as it's not my finger. The lizard fingers can come off. That's okay. Not my finger.
Oh,
I like
see.
mine.
It's like not in my backyard.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine if it's the lizard's fingers. Let's cut them off, but not my fingers.
Oh, goodness. All right. Do we have requests for... Oh, I kind of want to... I want to cut into this and see the implant that I put in.
So what do you mean by an implant?
Well, I'll take it out and we can see what it looks like. It's tubing that is semi-permeable, so it allows certain things in and out. And this tubing is actually really similar to like dialysis tubing. So it allows liquid in, and you can take some of the electrolytes out, that kind of stuff.
So it's semi-permeable or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep. And this is semi-permeable for steroid hormones, which is what corticosterone is.
So just the hormones can pass in and out.
There's a few other things that can pass
Yeah.
in. We're not super specific.
Close enough.
Oh, I just squirted blood everywhere. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
The audience is fine with it.
Woo! There it is.
Mama Bon Bon came for the
Came
gore.
for the blood and gore,
She wanted to know why we weren't going to look at the guts.
right? We can. So these lizards, when I implant them, it's up on their shoulder. So it's out of the way of their arm range of motion, and usually you put it in their belly, but because I'm working with females that are pregnant or gravid, I can't do that.
Got it.
So, and none of them lost their babies because they had implants in them, so that's an important thing too. Ooh, it's slippery. Use my better forceps. Come here. So I had to actually make these myself. They don't make them.
The implant.
The implant, not the lizard.
Okay.
So the implant is right there, itty bitty, and it's a little tiny tubing. It's plugged with
How did you make
silicone. I took the really carefully with like a syringe.
Okay.
So
you just like chopped up
and
a syringe?
a paper clip.
Or you filled it with a syringe?
I filled it with a syringe. I filled it with a paper clip because this is powder,
Yeah.
and then each end is plugged with some silicone using a syringe.
Okay.
It was it was a long day because I had to make like 40 of these. You have to be very particular about which ones you make. So.
Did you do the whole thing with like a stereoscope?
Yeah. Yep. Dissecting microscope. So, there's the cool hormone implant, which is
I
interesting.
guess we could look at that.
We could. We definitely could.
We can check out your handiwork.
Yeah. It's probably not very good. All right. Well, that's kind of cool. So, the lizard has kind of like a cool marking underneath there on its body wall. I don't know what it is. It's just muscle, I guess. But we can open up the lizard. I'll see what's inside.
So we're gonna cut into the body wall.
Yeah.
But the body wall is basically where all of the organs are kept, like inside, right?
Yep. And I'm being very careful to keep my scissors as high up as possible so that I don't have any blunt-ended scissors. I would prefer that.
Oh, because you'll stab yourself?
Well, no, I'm worried about stabbing organs.
Oh, okay.
Because, again, I'm not really here to rip open the intestines.
I mean...
We can. If you didn't want it to smell, that's the fastest way for it to smell.
I've still got my mask on. It'll be okay.
It's fine.
Just do whatever you're gonna do. Oh, yeah.
Don't say it like that while you're watching it dissected.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing the inside, alright. This is what you came for, Mama Bon Bon.
Yep, there's the inside of a lizard, guys.
It looks like nothing.
Looks like nothing. It looks interesting as
That's
hell.
harsh.
You know jelly donuts?
Yeah.
I was gonna buy some the other day. I'm gonna go buy some now.
This stream is making me hungry.
It is, actually.
Actually, yeah, dissections do make me really hungry.
Really?
Yeah. They really do. It's weird. I'm not gonna argue that it's not weird. It is weird.
Is the heart in the center?
The heart is up top. I didn't bring any pins. I should have brought some pins.
I have thumbtacks, but I don't have any
No, it's okay.
dissection pins.
All right. So we have heart up here, little pink beating heart. I did not review my lizard anatomy before this, so I really probably should have.
Man,
But that's all right.
this is the sort of preparation people have come to expect on Diatom's Attack.
I know. Just all kinds of crazy stuff.
We're just putting stuff up here. You tell us what it is.
Yeah. You can actually see the lizard's spine back here. Maybe.
Well,
I
think
can
you
see it.
Is the zoom button?
I don't know.
We'll clean up the screen thing later. Yeah, there. Now you got it zoomed in.
All right. So there's a lizard spine back there hiding.
Yeah.
Hello. And then so yeah, heart.
Surprisingly small for something called spiny.
I give up. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Liver, maybe? I don't know. Nope, intestine. So much intestine. This is the liver.
Dr. Cheeseweasel says we should put some whipped cream in there.
No. I don't know what you would accomplish with that. I really have some questions about that choice. There's a lung hiding back here. Lizard lungs aren't great, but they're okay.
I can see what you mean about it not being very good eating.
Yeah, no, there's really nothing in here.
It's not like a lot of muscle mass.
There's no muscle mass. Don't eat these.
Especially
If you
not
have
now.
to eat something out in forage, like go for plants, 100%. There's a lot of plants you can eat out in the forest, especially in this area. There's junipers everywhere, so if you really
Go
feel
with
like
the juniper
munching,
berries.
yeah. I don't know. You can eat maple seeds.
I like how you got the other one's hand,
Comforting it.
It'll be okay, honey.
It's okay. Oh no. Oh goodness. One of the cool things about lizards is that they have fat bodies where they store their fat. They don't use subcutaneous fat like mammals do.
So they don't get fat. Or they just
They
add
don't
more?
have fat all around. They have specified love handles.
Little
Not fat right
specified,
there.
little just like a fat.
Right. They have dedicated
Here's
fat
where I put
body.
my fat.
There's the
Isn't
fat.
That yellow stuff, the fat?
Yep, this yellow stuff is the fat.
I dissected it.
So yeah, this lizard again was in captivity, was fed crickets, didn't really have to do a whole lot, so it has plenty of fat storage.
Ha. Sometimes when I see lizards out in the wild, they seem to be doing push-ups.
Ah, yes. That's because
Is that to build their muscle mass?
no, it's
No.
their rock. That's
What?
their rock.
Oh, that's a possession?
That's a my rock. Look at how cool I am. Males will usually do that to show off to the ladies.
That's a
Look at how well I can
behavior-
defend my
a
territory.
possession behavior.
Yes. Yep. Territorial. All kinds of cool stuff.
Now I'm gonna have to do push-ups around the lab
No,
to let people know it's my lab.
it's my lab. Just when an invader comes.
Right. You're all invading.
When you get visiting professors doing lectures,
Then I
just
stop and
remind
do a
them.
push-up. I'll be like, watch this.
He's getting all up in my...
That Ian.
Ah! Ah! These tweezers have little hooks on the end of them, so they're really grabby. Anyways, yeah, folks, here's the inside of a lizard. I'm not really sure if there's anything else you want me to look at inside of this lizard.
I think I've seen enough.
She was... So these were... I think it was October when these were sacrificed. Or euthanized. So she doesn't have a very big reproductive tract right now.
So the bump up by the top, by the head, is the heart?
This
Yeah,
little
that
red,
bump right there.
this little red squish. Yeah. And they do not have 4 chambers.
What?
Correct.
Just one
They have
chamber?
2.
No, they have 3.
Who has
3.
2? That's birds.
No.
Lizards and birds?
That's
Frogs?
fish.
Fish have 2?
Fish have 2, I
One of
think.
them has 2.
I don't know.
Fish
Not
have
one,
2.
I guess more than one.
The last time I've dissected anything was in high school. And that was a long time ago.
So
for
like
me.
I think the dogfish shark is what we dissect that has 2.
I did a stingray.
Oh,
Got a lot
Well.
of livers.
that's cool.
Stingrays have a lot of livers?
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Like 3.
Yep.
We were like trying to find all the parts we were told to find. I just kept finding liver.
Yep. All right, so we
Gotta move livers to get to livers.
will set her aside, and we will look at the big male. All right, big male on campus. Oh, I'm sure. All
He
right.
just put his private parts right up there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention to where.
Zoom right in on his junk.
Ta-da! I'm sure he's proud of it. This is like one of the larger males that we had. Oh, goodness
Dr.
gracious.
Cheeseweasel wants to know, would the lizard survive off of the fat if it had to?
Yeah, 100%. That's what they survive on when they're inactive in the wintertime. So they're really cold. They cool themselves off. And then they just kind of hide out in the rocks
Live off of
and
the
live.
fat.
Yeah, live off of their fat.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's not a whole lot of inverts hanging around.
That's what I do in the wintertime mostly too.
So I live off of my fat. Or I actually, like, get more, like, I gain more fat so that I can maybe...
Save it up.
Yeah, just in case it gets extra cold one day.
Right. It's insulation as well. What's up, Nelly?
I was gonna ask a question.
I'm
but
still on
it
lizard
was
junk.
dumb joke, so I'm not gonna do it.
Throw it at us. We want to hear
I
your
was
dad
gonna ask
jokes.
I was gonna ask if they, after the winter, they wake up with like morning skinny, and they're like looking at themselves in the light.
Hey, look at me.
Time to go
Where am I
catch some
going?
crickets.
Where am I going? There I am.
Mirage Inverse, thank you for the follow.
Woohoo.
Should point out that that is follower for us, number 987.
Oh Jesus Christ,
What?
I missed a lot.
A lot's happened since you were last here, Mallory.
You're right.
And we are very close to reaching 1,000 followers, which I'm pretty excited about.
Tell your friends.
Do you get a free T-shirt from Twitch?
I don't think so. But I brought brownies in today to celebrate.
I wanted you and I'm off.
They are delicious.
They're here for you, Mallory.
They're
for all
just
of us.
regular brownies, just for the...
Did you know I was coming today?
No. How would I know that?
I'm surprised.
Surprise, Mallory.
A good surprise.
I thought maybe like you'd like feel me like.
I
I
sense a
never, like-
disturbance in the force.
I literally was about to say this.
Oh, you can see his trachea. That's cool.
What?
Yeah. We're gonna have to clean this later.
Yeah, that's okay. It's a document scanner. It's the most interesting thing that'll probably ever touch it. Oh.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's his trachea.
Is that little part sticking out?
Yeah, this thing.
Oh my god.
It's his trachea. That's super cool. So his head got chopped off like really high up his neck, so like closer to his head
Yeah.
and on an angle. I do have the bottom jaws of a couple of these lizards, so we'll look at some lizard teeth too.
Sarah,
Yeah.
are they like, you know how with a chicken, if you cut its head off high enough, it can survive for a few days? Are these like that?
They cannot survive for a few days, no.
Can chickens survive days?
I think yes.
I
thought it was
don't
just
know.
like hours.
That one I don't know.
We're Googling.
They might
That
wiggle.
was the top search for get a chicken. Mike the headless chicken lived for 18 months without a noggin
What?
after a
That
farmer,
sounds fake.
in a failed
It's
attempt,
his brainstem probably was still intact.
axed his head and missed the jugular vein.
Oh my god.
On average, isn't on average.
Can we, I see Devil and Mrs. J is here. Can you give her a shout out?
Yes.
You've got keyboard.
I am capable.
We'll look at some throat skin too, because he's got some nice throat skin hanging out. Ooh, it's
Throat skin.
crispy. Yeah, so these lizards, I mean, we looked at that. I don't know if it showed it really well. Yeah, in the belly pictures. They have blue throats too.
So she's talking about these pictures of So you can see the throat scales, and that's a female on the left and a male on the right.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, the male skydiving.
And they have this sort of really blue coloration around the throats, and then like the side patches of their bellies.
Yeah, we're going to clean this up a little bit. Okay. You gross. That was a good one. Got a nice tear.
So the scales that we were looking at, or that we have collected to look at in the SEM, are the belly scales.
Yep.
Are the back scales fundamentally different, or are they just bigger?
They are different. They actually have the spine. They actually have spines on them. So this is really, you can't tell, but this is actually really rough, going the opposite direction.
We're gonna make it ASMR. We're just gonna rub the dead lizard on the mic. No, don't do that. That microphone I need clean.
Yeah, we can just, yeah, but anyways, he's really, spiky.
Could we?
So the back scales, we can
maybe
definitely
take
cut
a
some.
piece of the tail or something.
Yeah.
In?
Definitely.
Because they look really spiny on the actual tails, right?
Yep. Yeah, we can cut some tail off. We can get us some tail. We can do
I'm glad
that.
you ladies said that and not me.
All right. Let's cut some. Let's cut a lizard open. This one I'm actually gonna go down the side because I want.
This one's a lot more stiff than the other one. Is there a reason for that?
He's bigger, maybe. I don't necessarily know.
Maybe he's more frozen.
He might still be a little bit. Yeah, he might be a little bit more frozen. Just gonna cut down. He's got like a cool side zip jacket.
Those are very stylish jackets.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not hip to the fashion, but
You're not?
I'm not.
That's what we got Mallory here for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're
See,
up to
ask the lizards how much snail slime they rub on their skin.
A lot, judging from what
Oh no. Yeah, so I might be wearing a lab coat right now, but I'm not usually wearing a lab coat. I'm mostly a field researcher. So I go out in the field and I research my lizards and I catch them with lassos on a stick.
What?
Yes.
You should have recorded that.
I should have brought one in. They're upstairs.
Wait, a lizard lasso?
A lizard lasso. I lasso lizards. I'm a lizard wrangler.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna, you should just put that in as your title.
It's my title on Twitter.
Is it?
Yep.
Lizard Wrangler.
Lizard wrangler. Yeah, so that's what we do.
How?
We wrangle lizards. So it's a slip knot.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's a long stick. It's actually a fishing pole.
It's a fishing pole.
Yeah.
Let's go fishing for lizards
It's a
sometime.
panfish fly fishing pole.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's extendable, so it fits in your pocket really well when you're walking around. But it's really thin. You extend it, and it's got a little bit of string, and then it's got a loop with a slip knot. And
how do you get the lizard in the loop?
Very carefully.
Just sit real still and do some push-ups
Usually
while I throw this loop over your head.
We usually use their heads. Yeah, it's usually over their head.
Yeah.
Sometimes you catch them by the hip if they're moving too fast.
Wait, you actually like throw it at them?
I don't throw it at them, but I like really slowly sneak up on them.
You sneak up on the lizards.
I sneak up on lizards.
All right.
And then
And
they're
throw a
okay, and then
lasso.
these are also in creek beds or up on like big rock walls.
I looked up lizard wrangler and I couldn't find her.
Lizard lassoer.
Oh,
Less.
I'm a lassoer. I'm a lassoer of
She's
the
not
lizards.
a common wrangler.
No. I don't simply
I
wrangle
don't
them.
like other girls. I lasso lizards.
Yeah, me and Erin McGee, Afro Herper. She and I are both lizard lassoers.
That's amazing.
So, yeah. And she's actually got Find That Lizard on today, so that's this evening. If you wanna
Find That Lizard is a game she plays where she posts pictures of lizards on her Twitter page,
She promises there's lizards in there, but sometimes I wonder.
and they're camouflaged, and it's like highlights magazines where you have to find a hidden object,
Mm-hmm.
and in that case it's a lizard. Only you can't flip the book over to the back and find the answers.
You cannot. You have to wait until the evening when she finally reveals the answers to you.
Do you ever see it and go, that's not a lizard?
Sometimes I wonder. The Chuck Wallace she had on there, I think last week. Oh, I had a hard time with that one. But that's just not the lizard that I look for. It's just not the kind of lizard that I'm used to
These
looking
are
at.
not the lizards you are looking for.
These are not the lizards I normally look for. Alright, we're gonna get some skin off this lizard. And we're gonna get these in the SEM.
What are you chuckling about?
Her not Instagram, your Twitter is so professional.
Is it? Sure.
And then I went back to mine. It's not.
Yours isn't very professional?
No, it's not. Something about,
Yes.
something about saying I'm a little bug.
So that's a patch.
How can you tell the difference between the patches right now? Because I don't see anything.
So patch, not patch, right in the middle.
It's
I also
like the
know-
silvery color
Yeah, the silver is not.
is not patch.
And then
the
they've-
darker, it looks
It looks
sort of
black, but they're normally
gray or
blue.
something, but when they're
Yeah.
living, it's blue.
Yep, when they're living, it's blue. I also worked with these lizards quite a bit, so I know where the patches are.
I mean, she took their toes, so
I did take their toes. This one, I know I caught. This is one of the lizards that I did catch in Arizona and brought back. It's just that the female,
Wait, did this one have a name?
this was Dom,
Dom.
like Dominic.
Okay. That could be a boy or a girl.
Yeah, except for yeah. Yep.
Because the other one's name was
It was Moy.
Got it.
So, he was big lizard on campus. He really was the biggest lizard on campus for a little while.
And then what happened?
And then we had to do research on their brains.
Oh. Oh, I meant like, I thought maybe we got an even bigger lizard.
Nope. We just removed this lizard.
Do we have other lizards?
No.
All of our lizards are dead now?
Correct.
So you bred lizards?
I didn't breed them. I just caught them and brought them over here.
I was gonna say, did you ever get to like hold a baby lizard?
I do hold baby lizards.
Really?
We
Mhm.
had a picture of the baby lizards.
I saw
think-
the picture, but I want to know if she physically.
Here's that baby
Those are my
lizard.
fingers.
Those are your fingers?
Those are my beautifully
I thought that was a
manicured
Google,
fingers.
Like stock
Actually,
image.
Nah, those are my
Good
my
name
fingers.
thing, actually.
So there you go. I've shown my fingers on camera.
I don't do that. For personal reasons.
Baby Taper wants to know, did you catch it and kill it for this?
Not for this. This is a really cool side project that we get to do. Because Dr. Stone is very gracious in letting us play with letting us do research with the scanning electron microscope.
I thought it would be interesting for Twitch to see something a little different.
There we go.
I feel like everything-
Y'all need to
There's a
holler and
little
make sure I
different.
got. This is a little different than what we normally see on Twitch. But
We're not looking at diatoms for once today.
it's not as gruesome as like some of those video games.
It's definitely less gruesome than many of the video games on Twitch. Except for the headless part.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, that's no patch for the male.
Baby Tapir would like to know the manner of death.
Cause of death.
So these ones, when we do it humanely, we cool them down. And then we don't completely freeze them, but we get them cooled down.
Cause of death.
No, we don't just like pop them in the freezer and call it a day. That used to be what they did. And there's some talk about whether or not that's the best way. But we cool them down a little bit, and then they get a double injection, one that's an anesthetic, and then another one that puts them out. So, yep. Similar to how you would do with a lot of other organisms.
Right.
And then they get
They never felt a
decapitated.
thing.
Right. Then they get decapitated soon after that, so that there's absolutely no doubt. Yep.
How does that happen? A little small axe?
A really good pair of scissors.
Oh, it's just a cut?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Although some lizard researchers have decided to make their own little guillotine, kind of like a paper slicer. But instead of a because paper slicers like come down on an angle, so you want it to come straight down, so you
Right.
get a nice good cut.
Like an actual guillotine.
Right, like an actual, but you need a little bit of pressure to it.
Bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
Who's the proletariat?
First we dress them up in political outfits, and then we cut their heads off.
All right, let's get some
Science.
tail
Frogs and
scales.
soybeans, that's what I heard this time.
So we'll go ahead. I'm just going to take it right off the base of his tail, because those are like really cool looking scales.
Yeah,
Um,
they're big.
right.
Can we pull them off, or they don't come off?
They don't know. They're part of his skin. So
That's weird.
I've got to cut them off. He does shed them.
When
he sheds his skin.
So we didn't talk about that.
No, he did not.
When they grow, they have to molt or whatever. Shed their skin.
Yeah, they have to shed their skin, just like we shed our skin. We shed individual cells. They just shed them all at once. Or like a crab.
Yeah.
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 Or a spider.
Yeah.
Or a water bear.
Yeah, lots of things molt. That's a normal behavior by animals to.
Yeah, so snakes, we think, okay, well, snakes shed their scales all at once, so you see a nice big snake skin. Well, lizards shed their scales at the same time, but they shed them off in pieces, generally.
Oh. I've seen pictures of birds with all of their feathers shed off for some reason.
Usually they pick them off, I think.
Is that what happens?
That's a
If they
weird
get
bird
upset.
thing.
If they're
I don't
upset?
study
If they're
birds.
like stressed or upset, they'll like pluck out their feathers.
I've seen students do that during exams sometimes.
I have.
Yank their hair out?
Well, yeah. Yep. Or I've seen like a big chunk of hair fall off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for extensions. And then they just left it. She just left it there.
She just left.
She just left it there.
Queen. Oh, no. She really.
It was during an exam, so she wanted to focus on the exam. She picked it up later, but it was just.
Bruh 7676 wants to know, do you ever play with their bodies?
No, no, I don't. That's.
She's a licensed lizard handler.
I'm a serious professional lizard handler.
Right.
I don't play with lizard bodies. That's
We
That's
adults
too
for that,
dark.
We don't need lizard bodies.
well, I got a scale off. These are okay. Taking skin off of a lizard tail is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be.
I'm just trying to analyze your headspace here. I'm kidding.
You're trying to figure out if this person is a lizard murderer or not.
If I'm a lizard, I'm not a lizard murderer.
Definitely not a murderer.
I protect lizards. So the lizard babies that are raised in captivity, when I'm researching them, actually end up with a higher survival rate because I have them in captivity. I start them off for their first few weeks in captivity. These lizard babies are popcorn normally.
Something chomps them up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are usually a snack for all predators in that area, including the big adult male lizards.
Tropical Geek says, I can't take this. Hi, see you later, Happy New Year.
It's alright,
Which
Trouble
part?
Lizard. We get it.
The lizard body?
The weird lizard. I'm doing a terrible job of getting this lizard tail off.
We're not taking the whole tail, are we?
No, I'm trying not. That's the thing. I'm trying not to take the whole tail. It'd be a lot easier if I just took the whole tail.
Alright, we have a new follow from Ziggy91.
Welcome.
Welcome, Ziggy. Don't get used to the lizard content. Although we may do another stream in the future with different lizard content.
Okay, well, we're just gonna get some lizard scales off the tail. There we go.
Also, that follow raised us up one, right? So
Unless Tropical Geek abandoned.
988 followers.
Ew.
We're 12 away from 1,000.
Come on, folks.
Baby Tapir would like to. Baby Tapir, we should have like an ethical discussion. No. Please don't.
Do not try this at home. I am a licensed individual. I have permits for this, and I'm under a lot of oversight for working with lizards and for actually like euthanizing them and what research I do with them. I can't just go out and like hang out with lizards and call that research. It's not how it works. And I can't, even if I do have a good reason to go do research, I have to get approved by like 5 different organizations. And they regularly check up on me.
But I cut up a stingray in high school. I don't believe my teacher had a permit.
Because those are ordered through a catalog and already dead.
It's not a wild animal. It's probably
okay.
raised for raised for dissection even.
Yep. Yeah, so, and even if I have, in my physiology classes, I need to get approval if I want to work with goldfish. Anything with a spine, any of the vertebrates, you have to get a bunch of approvals to be able to work with them. And the students, and then I get approval for it, the students don't get approval for it.
Yeah.
So
anyway, this isn't something you should be doing at home.
Right, so we have...
Not that you have an SEM at home or lizards that you kept in the freezer. Hey Charlotte, how's it going? Also, we got, let's see, a question from Sargocentron.
Okay.
And their question is, will the tool marks from taking the scales off show in the SEM?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I have no
I would
idea.
actually argue we probably could see some of it, possibly.
Probably.
If it created a depression or a scratch,
Yep.
we probably would see it. We might not be able to recognize it from another scratch, though, if it has, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. I'm going to take some back scales off. And then, is there anything else that we want? Oh, teeth.
Oh, that's the wrong field of view. There we go. There's Mallory, if you want to see Mallory.
Oh, you ruined my joke!
Oh, sorry.
I said I only exist in corporeal form.
Incorporeal.
You just showed me.
Ta-da! And there's Mallory.
You can see my arms in 2 different cameras or whatever, but...
Bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great off of there.
Yeah, that was probably some pretty good content right there.
There's a little bit of ASMR going on right there. Probably got that pretty good sound on the microphone with the
with the
skin
snip and the
shredding off.
Yep.
I do not believe in animal skin or animal fur clothing, but I can see the appeal in wanting like something that looks like that. Yeah.
Like lizard skin?
Like that pretty little hexagon-ish pattern.
Yeah.
However, they should.
Yeah, but there's actually some people that are doing some really good technology using shed skin to create stuff like cell phone covers.
I feel like you'd have to cut a lot of lizard skin off to make a pair of boots out of this.
Yeah, that would be a lot. That would probably be too much. Alright. There we go. Some back skin. Back skin. I regretted that as soon as I said it. Ah. Alright, so there's a lizard.
We have all of the pieces we need.
We're gonna grab some. We're gonna grab the bottom jaw of a lizard.
We can do that too. We haven't seen the jaws.
So here's the bottom jaw of a lizard. I think this is of the male. I don't know. What do you guys think? Think that fits?
Oh, cool.
I think so.
All the pieces we need, you're missing a head.
Yeah, we are.
Top part of the
We
head.
are missing the top part of the head. But we're gonna check out
In a
the.
later stream, we're gonna reanimate it.
Whoa.
I don't know how to put these back together.
Yeah, I don't think we can.
So yeah. All right. We can get some teeth. There's some tongue here too, but
I think the tongue is gonna be too.
I think it's pretty gone.
Well, also probably wouldn't look very good in the SEM
No.
because it's wet.
No.
The drier is better.
It's very dry.
Oh, the tongue is dry?
Yes, it's like, yeah.
If you think you can get it. But I think teeth would be
More interesting.
broadly appealing. Tongue probably just looks like a blob of skin. Maybe the cells would be interesting, I don't know.
I don't know. I need my bigger scissors for this. Not my finger.
Her name is Sarah. Mallory 2 Plymouth. The tongue is a bit dry. I think it's dead.
It's got a bit of that cotton mouth.
You could say that. Bone snapping is not necessarily my favorite sound in the world.
I
Did you
mean,
snap it? May I
Yep.
hear it?
she did, and I'm sure that it picked up on the microphone because it's right next to the microphone.
Yep.
I want to hear it. Go and make a noise.
My undergrads actually get really squeamish after they've worked with me for a while when I cut the toes off. And it's just because, it's not because of the sound of the toes, it's because of the sound of the scissors. They just like snip.
Snipping?
Yeah, it's the snip. And they know in their head that it's just, there's a toe that's now gone. Which I get it. It's kind of freaky. Anyway, so there's a lizard jaw.
We have a piece of a lizard jaw.
Piece of a lizard jaw, so now we have to figure out.
And the parts with the teeth are
It's got scales on it too.
visible.
Yep. Teeth are definitely visible.
Okay.
So there we go.
Our
I
next
think
step
that's-
is to prepare these for the scanning electron microscope.
And now all I have for you is information because I have no idea how scanning electron microscope works. Well, I have a little bit of an idea, but
I don't know how the scanning electron microscope works. It's okay.
Oh my god.
Dell is here. Hi, Dell.
I'm going to put the headless, parsed out pieces of lizard back into the container so that we don't lose any because that would be sad.
We can put 7 items in at once if they fit on the SEM stubs. So I don't know if you want to make a selection of the best 7 things that we've liberated from
Let's see, we've got
our guest.
1, 2, 3.
Do you know someone that seems to enjoy doing this a little too much?
I'm sure there's somebody out there.
So I can just put these in your field of view,
Okay,
and then that's just a little,
double. Okay,
take that off, and then you can just stick them on.
all right.
So for like the scales, you could just put a bunch of them on one,
Yeah, yep.
and if you move it a little bit, people can see what you're doing.
What?
Sorry, they might be able to see now.
You want to see content
I'm
now?
on delay. Okay, so that's live.
All right.
So if you wanted to like, maybe just a little bit to the, yeah.
There we go.
And they can see the metal stubs that we use. Those are aluminum stubs with a pin mount on the bottom, and then they've got double-sided carbon tape stuck to them, which is typically what we use to mount anything that's not dried onto a stub by itself.
All right, and these are all nice and dried onto my paper. There we go. All right, so
Better.
see now my hands are gonna get shaky because they're like, oh no, here we go.
Well, the placement's important, I guess.
Okay, so that's a belly patch. That's
Um,
no patch. Yeah, what?
So the only thing is, then we've got to remember
Who's who?
what we did,
Right.
and in the order in which we did it.
If only there was someone who could take notes.
Hello! It's me!
Let me.
I'll keep a note right here.
Let me get things started with the SEM actually. So there's a couple of steps that need to be taken care of.
Okay, Mallory.
Yes.
Piece 1
Yes.
is female belly, no patch. All right.
What's gonna work? Teamwork. That's what.
Are you Go Diego Go? I guess his name's Diego. The show is Go Diego Go.
No?
Oh, it's Diego.
How do we get this off? See, this is the problem with gloves.
What's the problem?
I just need to be able to get the.
Oh, for
Yeah.
that paper? that's
Yes.
on there? That I can actually do pretty easily. You,
Yeah.
Or do you
Not
want
a
this one
crook.
maybe?
Yeah, whatever.
I am not a crook.
Oops, I can just take out my fingernails even.
There we go. Ba-boom.
It's people talking to me.
It is.
I've become very popular today. Suddenly.
Who?
Me.
You?
Yeah.
Oh.
Somebody started talking about, oh, we should do microscope streaming on so people could see everything that you're doing while you're on the microscope. And then somebody pointed out that I do that, and then now everybody's following me as a result on Twitter.
Oh, everyone's copying you?
No, like literally following me.
Like who?
I got like 30 people in the last 2 hours or something that have followed. So.
Ah.
Don't let it go to your head, the fame.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Are you gonna like come in like dressed like Tony Stark next time?
I'm gonna start wearing a cape.
Please. What's on number 2?
Female belly patch.
Doc, have you ever had hummus?
Hummus? I love hummus.
He loves hummus. You're welcome.
All right, number 3 is
Who asked that
male belly, no patch.
Charlotte did, I believe.
Oh, are you gonna ask me what kind of hummus I prefer?
And then the different kinds.
Which one is number 1?
This
Female
one?
belly, no patch.
No, I
No,
meant
male belly. No.
No,
Oh,
that's number.
yeah.
Oh, you're talking about number 3.
number 1.
This is number 2.
Number 1 is number 1.
Number 1.
You're not
This
gonna
number
go,
2.
number 1. You're
Number
not gonna
2.
gold plate them.
Oh, I am gonna gold plate them. I'm just picking them out. Then I'm gonna put them in order. Then I'm gonna put them back in order.
Mm.
I'm gonna try to keep things organized because we don't have a labeling system for lizards.
Please visit us in the Middle East for some good hummus. Oh shit. Oh gosh darn it. Number 2 is going under the SEM.
Okay.
Number 2. Somebody's trying to turn it into a poop stream again.
All right. Number 3.
That's number 4.
Sorry, number 4.
We should have a conversation about how important labeling numbers is right now.
How
We don't
important?
have an example in number labeling on the board.
Is male belly patch.
These are gonna be good.
And I can fit I can fit that toe on there too. If we want to do a toe on there too.
2 on 1.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Hand toe. Hand toe.
Yep, and toe. Oh, that'll look really pretty.
Just catch my hand in there, sneaking off with stuff.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom,
Toe
boom,
in
boom.
1.
Okay, whatever number we're on next.
5.
Perfect. 5, 6, 7. All right, so I can do. We will do. Let's do the jaw. Oh, is it gonna fit? Let's see. I'm gonna trim it quick. trim some of the extra tongue off of there.
Actually, I left the family-friendly tag off today.
Yeah.
So I can swear?
I mean, can you?
You don't have to.
I thought maybe we shouldn't put kid-friendly on there if we were going to be, like, looking at dissected things.
I don't want to feel like this is great. He always gives the best advice.
We are only 13 people away from 1,000.
I don't really know which way the jaw should go.
Teeth up. Or just so that we can see the teeth, I guess. That's the only part that I guess is super important.
Right.
Did you make it work?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that number 5?
Is that number 5?
5 is the jaw?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm gonna toss them. And tail scales.
Tail scales are also on 5? Or-
Yes, jaw and tail.
It's tail.
Heads and tails.
Heads and tails.
Tail scale.
Perfect.
If you find a kid that loves dissecting animals, please get them to a doctor.
With the proper guidance.
Some
That's,
kids like taxidermy.
yeah.
I
Hey,
haven't
Miss
met one,
Daisy
but-
D's giving us a host. Thanks for the host, Miss Daisy. How you doing?
Alright, then for 6 we have throat.
The throat.
The male
Oh, throat scales.
Well, yeah, throat skin.
I got bangs over break. It's really changed my life. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. I won't do this. Not on this stream. Not on Lizard Day.
Not on Lizard Day.
What are you not gonna do?
It's gonna go off the topic. I said not today, not on Lizard Day.
You're going off the rails, Mallory.
Are there days when you're on topic?
Yes.
Is this
No.
it?
This is
that
it.
day.
This is today.
Today is the day.
I'm on
You
topic
don't even
on
have
Friday.
school today, though.
You're right.
I feel like you should really save that for school day.
Nah, unimportant.
Nah.
I feel like we're
All right.
we're so close to 1,000 followers.
The last
Just need
one
those
is
13 more.
back skin.
Vaccine.
I still
Back
regret that.
Skin.
Woo.
Can someone find the clip of her saying, vaccine? And please put that somewhere permanently. Sarah, which dinosaur is this lizard related to?
Whichever dinosaur is most closely related to lizards, I guess. I'll tell you what my favorite dinosaur is.
What's your favorite dinosaur?
My favorite dinosaur is Ankylosaurus.
What's that look like?
Ankylosaurus.
Yes.
What does that look like?
It's got a big head and a big clubbed tail.
Yep.
Like a turtle shell.
Can you spell that?
ANKYLO.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah. L-O-N-L-O-P.
This is your favorite?
Yeah.
It looks kind of chunky.
That one or the ceratopsids.
Chunky.
Ceratopsids are really cool too, like Triceratops.
I'm extremely partial to stegosauruses.
Mmm.
I am a stegosaurus.
I like stegosaurus.
No, not stegosaurus. That's not what I'm thinking of.
When I was a kid, Triceratops was my favorite though.
No, what am I thinking of? What am I thinking of?
I like the horns.
So now you guys just have like a cool.
Brontosaurus. That's what I like. A
Brontosaurus.
You know,
brontosaurus.
the problem with Brontosaur is it stopped being a thing and then it started being it's like Pluto. It's like the Pluto of dinosaurs.
I
Yeah.
believe in them.
It was like a patasaur for a while. and
Yeah,
then
it was
got
a
rid of
patasaur
it,
for a
and
little
got
bit.
back.
I believe in
So I guess we'll just have a headless lizard
Or
hanging out on here,
Brachiosaurus.
just so you guys have something to look at.
Brachiosaurus.
I have no idea if you're chatting at all because
I
the.
apologize.
Mallory doesn't like to keep us up with her job over there.
They're just making comments. Someone said they're just giant ankles that walk around. Charlotte.
Sore ankles.
Mama Bonbon said Yoshi's tripe. And then Charlotte said my favorite dinosaur is Barney.
Marnie.
That's a choice.
That's a bad choice.
That's an interesting choice.
Do not agree with that decision.
Brachiosaurus.
Oh
What's
goodness.
your favorite animal?
Animal?
Yeah.
Animal?
Is it lizards? That's a shot in the dark, by the way.
I don't know.
Lizards.
You don't know of lizards?
I don't know.
You dedicated.
They're really cool, and I love them.
Favorite's a bit much, though.
Favorite's a strong word.
I will spend the next 8 years of my life studying them, but
Right.
favorite's a bit much.
It's like that one.
Let's not get crazy.
That one Onion article about the guy with the anteaters. What was that?
I love lizards, and I guess lizards are my favorite. These are not my favorite lizards, by the way. My favorite lizards are horned lizards, because they can shoot blood out of their eyes, which is really cool.
The Onion video is expert wasted entire life studying anteaters. I remember that he's like, they're so boring.
No, these are really cool lizards. I don't know. Yeah, lizards are I would say lizards are probably my favorite animals. I like wolves too. Things that go and hunt other things are really cool. No.
Do lizards have special hunting strategies?
No, they don't. They're just really I think that lizards are super charismatic and have a lot of attitude.
Oh yeah.
So I personally think that they're really interesting to study for their behavior because they do have attitude. Because the males are all like, "This is my rock," and the females are like, "But it's kind of my rock," and then they wave to make sure you still stay away from them. So I don't know. I think they're cool.
Little shoot. What's lizards?
I like bull snakes too. Bull snakes are cool. If I had to pick a favorite snake, it'd be bull snakes.
Bull snake?
Bull snakes or gopher snakes. Yep. They're big, mean. They're not mean. But if you pick them up, they thrash about. They have really strong lateral
I'm
muscles.
Good, little shoot.
Was Little Chew here?
Indeed, I'll give him a shout
You knew I was going to ask you to do that, right?
out. Yeah, I'm evolving. Every day I'm new. I'm a new person. 10 minutes ago, I was Mallory. Now I'm Mallory of today.
Oh, Pacific Plankton brought this up yesterday, but western fence lizards, which are related to these guys, help us fight Lyme disease. So when western fence lizards get bit by ticks that have Lyme disease, they don't get Lyme disease. Their blood fights off that bacteria that gets infected.
Is it
I don't think it decontaminates the tick, but the ticks only feed on one blood meal
Oh, okay.
for each life stage, so then they go off and die. So, western fence lizards are pretty cool.
So if we just sacrificed all the lizard blood to the ticks and filled them up on that, they wouldn't eat the deer
Yeah.
or whatever else is causing the Lyme
We would have
disease.
big feeding troughs of lizard blood that we would welcome the ticks to. Because you just have to
What could go wrong?
right, and as long as we have some good Yelp reviews on it, we're fine, right?
What could go wrong?
It's perfect. It's great. What's going on in the chat? Nothing.
It's hard to explain.
It's
Um,
I mean, this is pretty hard to explain too.
Someone said, I'm wondering when the chat is going to be moderated. This is moderation.
This is moderation.
Mallory's not going to win Mod of the Year, unfortunately.
I'd say I do because I allow freedom of the press, freedom of speech within the chat. Unless you criticize me, in which case you're done for. Bruh76 said, "No, this is my rock. Every conflict in the Middle East," which was an interesting political statement.
That is
True.
it's just kind of
If only
every
we could just do
conflict,
push-ups
any.
instead of killing each other, though.
Yeah. If we just did push-ups, it'd be so much better.
Just, instead of nuclear weapons, we just
Yeah.
we invented ways to do faster push-ups.
Right. Who needs explosives when you can just okay, everybody do push-ups. Whatever land you can do push-ups on, I guess you can have it.
We're having pizza tonight. Push up.
Charlotte said, "Is this science of a demon summoning ritual?"
No. Not really. We don't
I
sell
like how you answered it seriously.
it.
You're like,
Not
actually,
really.
no.
No.
We've got to think about it a
Believe it or
little.
not.
No.
No. Not really. No.
Charlotte said, "Excuse me, we don't fight over rocks, we fight over goats." You guys do push-ups on goats. Goat push-upping is like the new Scottish kilt. They're little kilt games.
So we totally missed the splatter coating.
Oh.
but that's okay.
Did they need to see it?
No, people have probably seen it before,
Yeah.
but, you know,
Was it successful though?
sure.
Sure.
So, I love it when people walk in on the middle of something and they're just like,
What is going on?
a new person just said, "What is that?"
Just like the stream says, decapitated lizards.
Yep. Yep. Lizard dissections today. Doing some cool stuff. We're gonna put them on the SEM here pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm working on it. You can't rush this stuff.
No. No.
Just like the dissection process.
Right. Yeah, so these lizards, I study them. They're from Arizona. They are super cool. The females give live birth to about between like 4 to 12. I've seen up to 12 offspring, which is huge. It's a really big number for these lizards. So, yeah. I study offspring dispersal behavior, so what the offspring do once they're born. There's not a whole lot of research being done on these lizards about what happens to the babies once they're born. I have yet to actually see one of the babies be born. They usually give birth like under a rock and at night.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
So yeah.
We've reached that point in the stream where I can take my gloves off.
And I can as well.
Oh
Oh no.
What was the no for?
no! We're not a political stream, so I probably shouldn't say it.
Yeah, then don't. There's some pretty good deals at the bookstore right now, apparently, though.
That's a nice change of subject. Just kind of something.
Do you want the microphone back?
Yeah, that'd be good, probably, so people can hear us.
Off you go.
And we're gonna switch scenes.
I'm taking my gloves off and picking up the razor blade.
So the buzzing that you hear is me turning the scanning electron microscope pump on. And that's the sound that we normally have running in here in the stream. And let's see.
Sarah's hand really quick.
Did it switch to the screen? Guess I don't have to see it. Yeah.
Oh.
Alright. So, we need to wait a little while for the SEM to finish pumping down. That's the process where basically the scanning electron microscope has to operate with the chamber in a vacuum. And what key commands I put in there. None of those. Hiding the screen. Come on.
My high school biology teacher is watching.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Drop film wrong now. I'm out of frame. I'm gone.
I'm blocking her.
What is the birth size?
How big are they when they're born? Is that the question?
Oh, hang out by the brownies.
Good plan.
So they are about a gram when they're born. Let's see. They're about the size of your thumbnail, so they fit very easily on a thumbnail. I usually use a Dixie cup to measure them. Yeah. Yep.
That's precise science right there.
Yeah. So I actually use quite a few like household things to measure my lizards. I use a little Dixie cup to measure the offspring, and the adults get measured in a big, just a big plastic drink cup.
Like a
Like
red,
those really big.
a red party cup?
No, not a red party cup, but like the big tall ones that you have. that juice tastes really good in.
Oh, well, like it's all
Like
plastic.
the hard plastic.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yep.
We've got some of those at home.
Yeah.
I don't have any lizards to measure, but.
You put decorations on, like promotional stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then, fishing poles is lasso poles.
I feel like you have video of the capture process where you actually like
Ooh.
catching the lizard.
I don't know. I have video of my undergrad trying to capture a lizard.
How bad are they at it?
They're not bad. They actually get really good towards the end.
How long
towards
does
the
it
end of our
take
field season.
to become a lasurator?
It takes some practice. It definitely takes some practice. So I lassoed lizards in my undergrad too. My undergrad research. That was on lizard behavior.
Is it here?
No, it was not here. That was in Wisconsin.
What is this section?
It's for later. You have to get 1,000 followers.
Yep.
Oh, it says 1K. It said JK. I was like,
But just kidding.
I was like, what?
Nah, JK.
That's cute.
If we can get 1,000 followers, then I'm gonna light it up.
Forever?
I also got little party hats.
You
and,
do?
uh,
I love parties.
Party hats and a little, you know, the little noisemakers.
I love parties.
So we can celebrate, but we haven't reached 1,000 followers yet, so.
I'm gonna go make, like, how many new accounts are you gonna make?
13, I think.
How many emails do you have?
You'd be surprised.
But yeah, it usually takes a few weeks to get better at lassoing lizards so you can actually catch them.
It seems like we might need to take some of your lizard parts out because the pump can't pump down all the way.
Oh no.
Because there's too much material with moisture.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, some of that skin might have.
how was brownies?
I'm like a little grandma eating my roots while I'm alive.
We'll see if it flips over, but my guess is it won't. So we'll just entertain you with a little chatting first.
Yeah, we can know.
And let's see what happens with the little green bar.
If
It's
you,
slowly counting down, but sometimes you can just do a partial blend. So the issue is there's a little bit of moisture on the materials that we put in there because Sarah just chopped them off of the lizard, right?
yeah.
So if you look, this is our sort of scanning electron microscope diagram here, and if there's moisture in the chamber, then it interferes with the electron beam. But when we try to put a vacuum in there, what happens when it doesn't pump down all the way is it just turns itself off. So I can just do a little partial vent. It will sort of spit out some of the moisture in there, and then I'll hit the pump again. So it's venting out moist air,
Yeah.
and then because it's already partially pumped down, hopefully it will finish and completely vent or completely pump down and get the rest of the. Well, it's not working for that. The C.
Not happy about it.
No, it's not. Now.
Yeah, I think there was one piece of skin that probably was a little too.
If that's a little too moist in there, it will probably not come down. And if that happens, we can just, it's not liking it at all, apparently.
Want to take that one off?
Yeah. So we can pull that one out. Do you remember which
I'm
one?
guessing it's the back skin.
So 7, the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll just have to pull that one piece out, probably,
Yeah, that's
and
probably
we can look at it later.
a little jello-y still, probably. I think it had a little bit of muscle. But the other skin had been sitting there for quite a while and was dried to the paper towels.
Yeah, that stuff's probably fine. It was having a hard time pumping it down into there as well. So it was, I think it's just a matter of like it pulls moisture out when it starts to vacuum it down because it squeezes the material. And
Just like when you're trying to vacuum seal like peaches.
yes, similar to peaches, except for ours are pieces parts of lizards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like the same
But
thing.
when you make the lizard nuggets, you want to use all the pieces parts. The whole lizard.
Yes. Lizard nuggets.
Yeah, lizard nuggets, of course.
You have to be careful about lizard nuggets, I think. Don't. Yeah. So I actually worked with lizards for my undergrad. I was just lucky enough to be able to do lizard work there. And then for my master's, I actually switched over to snakes.
So you studied both lizards and snakes.
Yes. Yep, I have. The snake project was getting snakes across the road. So
How did the snake cross the road?
using a speedboat, using an elaborate tunnel system put together with puzzle pieces.
I thought it was going to be taking across the road, but it didn't come out.
Not so good. No. No.
So you put a speed bump in.
Yep. The plastic one. It was a
So like a
temporary.
hollow one that can go through?
Yep.
Okay.
Lizard tunnel or a snake tunnel.
Snake tunnel.
Snake tunnels.
Yeah, snake tunnel. What are you making noises about over there?
Sorry, I'm rude.
Charlotte wanted to know have I ever had rock?
Isn't that like a swirl of soap?
No, that's flatbread.
Well, I'm thinking lush. That's much
thinking lush.
cosmetic.
Or do a CV. We have CV in our house actually. We use that to cook steaks sometimes for my daughter.
Huh.
We start with the CV, cook the steak to the appropriate temperature, and then Carlin pulls it out and does the, what you call it, on the grill.
Searing.
Searing.
Flip it.
Flip it.
Flip it.
You just did this.
The flippy thing.
Yeah.
The flippy stuff.
If she started a caterpillar, she would still be yelling at the graduate. I like caterpillars.
Let's see what our SEM thinks about it without the big piece in the middle. Still pumping.
Ooh.
Doing better than it was.
That hand sanitizer is not good. It's very sticky.
The green stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know who's responsible for that.
Well, I'm going to go wash my hands now
Okay.
that I have sticky fingers.
You don't want that to get onto the brownies.
No.
Escarella, thank you for the follow. I only have 12 fake accounts.
If you made 12
Where's
fake
that?
accounts,
No. That's not what I was asking
Oh,
about.
I was like,
I go to
that
school
one.
here, I know.
we just 12 accounts away from 1,000.
But I thought we were closer than that.
We were at 13.
Oh.
We're crawling towards it a little at a time. You thought you were already following me, but you weren't. That's okay.
You audacity.
Maybe you followed and then you left. You know, because we were dissecting lizards. Usually that's not the thing. Anyway, so I have this diagram up here inside of an SEM. I can talk a little bit about how it works. You got the electron gun part of the top. There's a chamber up here where there's a filament. In the case of this one, it's a tungsten filament. And it goes, it gets heated up a little bit and also has a charge put through it. It creates an electron cloud inside that chamber at the top, mindful of that. And then there's an anode, which is the part that's underneath it in the diagram. It has a positive charge, and electrons have a negative charge, so they are pulled towards the anode. And then we use a series of magnets as our lenses. We'll focus the beam, keep it basically centered where we want it. And then it passes through a backscatter detector. If you have one of those, we have one, but ours is actually just, it pulls itself out and we can put it in and pull it out. And if we have ours pull out, it's the specimen. And in our case, we want the specimen to not be full of water. So that one sample is good enough, I think. that we can now get full vacuum. So I can turn on the capital pitch. And now we are looking inside of chrysalis. As soon as I get rid of this figure.
Doc, what's the most exotic food you have ever eaten? You seem like the type to try exotic food.
I probably am not the type, actually,
Really?
to try exotic food.
Oh no.
Not really my thing. I mean, I like to get just like normal, like foreign foods. Like I do a lot of Ethiopian food, a lot of like Indian food. Those are some of my favorite types of food. But mostly just like domestic things on the menus, not like snakes or wild creatures. It's not my thing.
I ate a calm.
You ate what?
Calm.
Conch?
Yeah, calm.
Like a snail?
Yeah.
And? Report please?
It was, honestly, I thought it would be rubber. It was like only slightly rubbery.
It wasn't as rubbery as you were expecting.
It tasted
3 out of 5 stars.
bad. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. I expected to be my teeth slipping and sliding around on it. I don't know.
I'm going to try turning the voltage down to 10 because we're looking at stuff that doesn't need to have a beam of 30 probably. And we're looking mostly at surface textures. And this is our first bit of lizard skin that we're looking at right now. So if you were here through the first part of our stream, we saw Sarah actually collected this for us live. And I need to focus and play with the SEM a little bit to get the settings so it looks good.
They said it looks like tiny cats.
Oh, there's a bunch of little tiny cats.
Please, if you post this on the Instagram, please
Put little cat
edit.
faces on
Yes,
them?
like pushing
Just
cat
like this?
faces. Yes, pushing
Little
cat faces,
cats.
please. Please, I beg of you.
They're like little fish.
It does look like a little army of cats, doesn't it?
L. Sim says, I come for the voice that stays in the mouth.
You just want to
You're here for the voice.
So, don't inflect your voice even more.
You're ready for the cats.
I like other people. I almost got a kitten over Christmas. I'm staying on top, stop it.
I didn't take you off
I know.
topic. I think it's cool how they look like different colors, but they're shades of gray, but that's because they're at slightly different angles. So don't be confused. There's no light in the scanning electron microscope, so what we're seeing doesn't actually have any differences in color. That's not like there's a dark scale and a light scale and a light scale and a light scale. If all of these were like painted purple, or every one of them were painted a different color, when we put it in the SEM, it'd still look the same. It would look like the paint is covering the surface. So we have differences in brightness and darkness on the SEM are associated with the topography, and in this case it's sort of like the angle that they're facing. So that the more tilted they are towards the light, the brighter they would be. So just like anything else, if I had like a flashlight and I shined it on something, it looks brighter or darker depending on the angle. That's basically all we can tell with the secondary detector on a scanning electron microscope. We do have a backscatter detector, and I could slide that in, and it would show us differences in density of material, but because these are all likely just carbon, they wouldn't have very much density differences either. So one thing that's kind of cool that you can tell right away is how smooth the surface of the scales are, right? And we haven't zoomed way in or anything yet, but and they also have these like characteristic notches. So you've never looked at the lizard scales?
No.
So this is your first time?
Yeah.
Like the rest of us, probably, looking at lizard scales on a scanning electron microscope. And this stuff that's out here is actually the carbon tape. You probably saw Sarah when she was sticking it on there. That's the sort of black carbon tape that we use to adhere the scale to the actual little aluminum stubs that they're attached to. So that's actually a pretty good picture. I'm going to compose it a little by start zooming in really kind of closely. We were super zoomed out at that point. You probably could see what we were looking at before with a regular light microscope. We wanted to sort of get into the, well, there was little tiny bumps down here. Our SEM will allow us to move in a lot closer than we are. We're still currently only at like 5,000, 6,000 times magnification, which is honestly not very much for a scanning electron microscope. We're normally here on the screen up in tens of thousands for magnification, and I can fix the brightness pretty easily by clicking the button. So despite the fact this one is really bright, I can fix that, and then we can zoom in and see that the surface of this is really kind of pitted in places, even though it looks super smooth and far out. And to get much closer than this, when we get a clean image of it, we probably need to move the stage up a little. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to move it up to 15. So you'll watch the stage move. It sort of blurs as it's moving, it's vibrating. And then we cut the distance in half, basically, between the sample and the beam, which will allow us to get a little bit less depth of field, but a little bit more magnification. So we can get higher resolution for the same image by moving the specimen closer. And so we'll be able to see a lot of the detail a lot more clearly. The same photo quality or whatever. And then of course I can always slow the beam speed down, and then it would be a much higher result image as well. My point was mostly to try to get a nice high quality image that I could zoom outward to. Here's the problem with zooming in, is that now this is as far out as we can possibly get it. And you can also see that some of the color or shading differences have sort of changed as a result of being a little closer, because now all the things are kind of pointed a little bit more directly towards the sensor, almost all the same. So I just want to get a picture where I don't have the... And get the cats for Mallory, so I can post this later and she'll be happy. It's important that I make Mallory happy, keep her happy, because she comes in and works on weekends.
I'm like the volcano guy. Everyone explain that for me.
Good.
Yeah, that was your shirt. I thought that you loved like a white flowy shirt. I was like, wow,
that
you really
goes on.
dressed up for me.
Okay, so I can fix the quality a little bit by changing the beam intensity and the speed at runtime. So we can get a nice highly resolved image, and I'm just going to go ahead and click the picture. So this is back in sort of our normal mode for the channel, where I can kind of follow what's going on a little bit in the chat, instead of constantly just being floating and relying on Mallory to read stuff, and who knows what she's going to pick out as being interesting or important. So, did we give a shout out to Estrella?
Yes.
Okay, so Estrella does, she does drawings, like live on-stream drawings in the art stream, and she was part of the Artist Back Alley, which our stream was also contributed to. And we do sort of photography from a scanning electron microscope, and drawing's actually really amazing, and it's really cool to watch her work. So we should give her a little bit of your time to check that out at some point. Pop in, drop in, say hello to one of our friends at the channel. So if you're wondering why is this taking so long, that's because when we slow the beam down, it's actually building the image live for you. It doesn't, the scanning electron microscope, the scanning part is it scans across the material, and at each pixel basically it can report back whether that pixel is a bright one or a dark one. You can give a range in shades for that pixel, and then it moves on to the next pixel. So we'll set the speed relatively slow. What it's doing is it's going very carefully, putting many more fine dots at each spot where it's feeding back the information to us. And then that information is then put into the computer, and it basically draws it as it scans over that surface, line dot by dot, right? So it looks like it's loading an image, but it's actually drawing that photo as it scans over the material. And that's the scanning part of the scanning electron microscope. You'll note sometimes that the image looks kind of grainy, and sometimes the image looks very clear, and that's because I've slowed the image down. But it takes 3 minutes for it to draw this photo for us, and I don't want to wait 3 minutes for every screen. So I will lower the resolution. What it does is it scans over the same area, but it scans over it much more quickly, so it draws it for us much more quickly as a result. But then it looks grainier because there's spaces between where it was normally filling with dots, right? So the quality decreases, but the speed increases with respect to how responsive it is to our movements. So then this is, change this to lizard. Not that I'll have any trouble remembering what it was. And I need to do a little bit of bookkeeping on my end for the files. Put this under Sarah. We only have one Sarah, so we don't have to worry about it. And this was sample 1, which was
It was the female belly no patch.
female belly lizard no patch.
Yeah.
That's what they're calling it. Okay, so we got that image. Now I can, that was a nice overview. See how grainy it gets? But then, like, when I click it, immediately draws it, so I can move around without having to go like, oh, I'm gonna wait 3 minutes to see if I even want to look at that. But I can actually set it to a range of speeds between 1 and 10. And I can also change the beam intensity, which helps speed it up a little. So if we wanted to zoom in, one of the things that's kind of interesting is your mom is watching.
Hello,
Dad.
Sarah's
Will
parents.
you tell your mom and dad to follow? And then
Sure.
we'll get 2 more followers.
Yeah.
We're so close to 1,000. Come on, Sarah's mom and dad. You can give us a follow. All right. So this what's really cool here is where the overlap is, right? So here's the scale, the tip of it, and where it overlaps with the next one, you see that structural difference right there? And it's not, that's not just a fluke. I noticed it actually in all of them, right? There's like a little weird sort of scale-like structure pattern on it, and it's always in between, at the end of the other, right? So there's like somewhere down here is a scale that's
Yeah, so right at the base of each
Uncovered, maybe?
individual scale.
Which one's Sarah's mom? I'm actually Sarah's mother. Don't let our ages fool you.
Oh, you can. This is another cool thing. So she cut that with the scissors,
Yeah.
right? You can see the scissor cut go right through the scales, right? I won't get into how scissors work because honestly, I still haven't figured it out. I've got advanced degrees and I cannot figure out like how does a scissor work?
I never even considered that.
It kind of freaks me out. It's
That's
like
kind of scary
it's
now.
like magnets. How does this work?
How does-
Okay. I mean, I know how scissors work. I don't know, like at an atomic level, how scissors work.
Yeah,
Though. It freaks me out.
molecularly.
Okay. So here I'm going to slow the speed down a little so I can focus. It's like dried up, cracky.
Yeah, like epithelial cells.
It's like they're not actually scales though, are they? It's just like it's fractured.
I don't know.
It looks fractured to me. It also looks quite clear.
Well, because it kind of looks like skin.
Yeah. So we can tweak the focus on that just a little more. So it looks cool. And then I'm gonna zoom out so what is this little thing? What is going on here? Huh. That's the texture on the underside of it.
Yeah.
Aha.
Tiny holes.
You know how I like tiny holes?
What's a tiny hole?
Always the tiny little holes. Alright. So I think change the beam intensity, we can actually see those more clearly. Just a second, there we go. Focus. And what's cool about that is that bit right there is a piece that's flipped off of it, like it's fractured and then flipped over. And you can see the underside of the thing and the thing that it fit into, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Here's just a bit of it fractured and there's a bit of the
I wonder
underside.
if that's like secreting the skin, like secreting like little cells.
Is the microphone like on a lower setting or something? I mean,
No.
someone saying something about it.
Or did you get too close to it?
I don't know.
It should be. Oh. Did
Oh,
we lose
no.
track of it? Maybe we lost track of it. Hang on. 1 second. This one? How about now? Should be working. I think maybe OBS just sort of screwed something up.
Yeah, they freaked out for a second.
That's okay. We fixed it. All right. 7. I'm going to hit the auto adjustment. But I think you can actually see the cool sort of layering. What's going on?
I think it was using the webcam.
Switch to
microphone.
that one.
Yeah.
It might have got temporarily
Everyone's
unplugged.
saying thank you. I thought they were just like messing around at the beginning because they dropped it, but
It might have got temporarily unplugged when it could have got bumped.
Everybody's really excited.
yeah.
Oh, about being able to hear me again?
Yes, they did.
Actually here, and I'm guessing that webcam was picking up a lot of the SEM.
Yeah, it probably picks up a lot more. Although this gets like more room, it
Yeah.
probably you guys couldn't be heard very well. Just gotta let me know if there's a problem and then I'll try to fix it. Alright, I'm gonna take that. We're gonna take that picture. A nice close-up. Who is it?
Kazam?
Oh, it's my friend Pez.
The Fez.
Pez.
Hey, Pez. I've had a couple of like friends stop by recently, which is cool.
Yeah.
My friend Shane stopped in last time.
Yeah, they're ready for the 1,000 followers.
They're ready for the party we're gonna throw, whenever we get 1,000 followers. We're almost there. Pez, we were dissecting lizards earlier. Well, Sarah was doing it. I don't dissect lizards anymore. Actually, I don't think I've ever dissected a lizard.
They're not
In
really
high
common.
school, I did a cat, a pig, a squid, a starfish, a frog, a worm. I feel like there was more. We did a lot of dissecting.
Wow.
Uh,
Crawfish?
I don't think we looked at a crayfish. Anyway, the cat was probably the worst for me.
Yeah, cats
Baby
smell.
kitten. The whole thing's, they always smelled like formaldehyde.
Well, cats actually, when you dissect them, they smell really bad. Like even just
Yeah.
frozen. We had to dissect bobcats. That was-
Bobcats?
It wasn't like a here dissect this. It was we were working on a project for the state.
Oh.
and
You
we
were
had to-
forced to dissect bobcats for a
Well,
project for the state.
So the bobcats were trapped by local trappers statewide, and we had to actually take some. We took out a canine tooth, so we could get their age, and then we took the reproductive tracts of the females, so we could track how many kittens they had.
Oh.
Yep, and opening up a bobcat just smells horrible.
What's Anakim complaining
Love
about
them.
now?
He said, "I love you, Mallory. Have my babies," and I said, "No, but thank you."
Oh, okay.
Yes, I do get to look through. I mean, I'm looking at the SEM.
I think they want to know if you want to actually
it's
manipulate
okay.
the
That's
SEM.
okay.
It's not hard.
It's nervous. If you're nervous for it, it's fine.
That's okay.
I'll just scream at the worst moment.
Startle you.
Yes.
What could go wrong? Also, sign this waiver
Right?
for a $160,000 microscope that you're touching.
Also, can you put your name on this check real quick?
That's
I'm
right.
sure.
That's right.
Also, passwords and your SSN. So we're looking at, for people who might have just joined us and were like, why are we looking at this? We're looking at the belly of a lizard and the overlapping scales. This is a female lizard, and we zoomed in close. I'm going to call it medium close because there's another level that we could reach if we wanted to. Our magnification on our current shot is around 9,000 times. So we're looking about 9 times the power of a normal light microscope. We can do way better than that, of course, if there's something that's interesting. I don't know. I think I feel like I've seen what's here, and if you want to come back to it, we can. Is this cool?
Yeah.
Moving around?
Yeah.
We'll move around to the next thing. What was number 2?
It might be very similar.
It's female belly skin patch. So
On
yes.
the patch.
This is on the patch.
This is on the patch. So it's completely possible that they might be exactly identical.
They look pretty similar.
They look really similar.
The scales don't look particularly different.
It's just that one is on the patch and one's off the patch. So
it stops smoking.
yeah.
Let's see if we can find some of this. It's got the same kind of cracked structure in here. Just trying to see if I could find some of it. I mean, everything looks basically the same
Yeah, it does look
to me.
basically the same. So.
Maybe that's not a
Which is
physical
cool. That
component.
means that it's not physical. Yeah,
Yeah.
that does answer. So again, negative data or not getting the result that's different. It just means that it's still data.
Although, one thing I haven't seen, and I'm trying to find,
It's hexagons.
is the underneath side of some of this sort of broken material. Because it doesn't have the same, before I talk too much, let's see what's in this one. I don't know if that's underneath or not. See, it's like flaky,
Yeah.
but we
I
don't
wonder if
see
it's
any of the
flaking
little...
if it's flaking off the top one.
Yeah, maybe. Try to see if we can find one of those sort of flaky spots that it doesn't have that quite the same texture on the bottom part of the arc down here.
Yeah.
DJ technique.
DJ,
Hello.
hello. This looks like the surface of the moon a little bit. I haven't seen any of the little like broken piece sort of things.
Yeah.
There is a sort of a structural ridge right there.
But it's more of a ridge instead of a... Like, it looks like there's something actually there.
Yeah, here's the ridge.
Yeah.
You can oh, we didn't have this on the other one. We didn't
No.
actually get like exposed lower part of the scale. Oh, but it does have that sort of hexagonal
Oh, yep, there it is.
fracturing in here where it dries out.
That's cool.
I just haven't seen the flipped over under pieces so much, and maybe that's because they're not exposed. So I don't know, maybe there is a little bit of a difference in there. Oh, wait. Is that texture?
Ah.
Aha.
Aha, ha, ha.
Aha. It does look the same.
Tiny holes, yeah.
You know how I feel about it.
So that means that it's probably living tissue that's playing a bigger role. Than
Yeah.
It's actually the cells, and that's what we were talking. That's
I'm wondering if it's not just like the skin under the, what'd you call that? The body thing?
oh yeah, like the body wall. if that's
Body wall, because
possibly
it
that.
sort of had different shading
Yeah.
on different parts.
And these are all flipped over so that it's the outside showing. I don't have the inside showing, so I should have flipped one of them over.
That's okay.
But-
The outside's probably the cool part.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try to put one here where we get the whole
See those ridges?
bottom edge of the scale,
Yeah.
because we haven't really seen that. That's good. And in focus. And I can set the speed to 7, beam intensity 7.
The water down here is not as good as the water upstairs.
The drinking water?
That's
Yeah.
because I had to run down from you guys. It ran
It
down
starts at the
wall.
top?
Yeah, it starts at the top. It's
And
trickle down economics.
It started at the top and now it's here?
I
Doesn't
think
it?
it's more the filters get used more down here than the filters up on like the upper floors.
They're like super bubbly down here. I don't know if you know.
Oh, now Anakin Luke wants me to have his babies.
It's kind of,
How
it's
does-
sweet in a way if you just close your eyes and don't look at it. Oh, I'm so sorry, baby.
Can't believe you kicked my $160,000 instrument.
$6 million.
Yeah, this $1 million microscope. I'm taking it out of your paycheck.
I need like what, like 3 million more years?
I already have a baby. I don't need another one. But
Thank you for the offer, though. It was really, it was really interesting of you.
It's really heartfelt sentiment.
you're trying to get rid of your babies? That's the part that I don't understand.
Is it more like
Like, what's the fun off?
Like, have my babies or
it's sweet in a way.
It's like, I feel like he's gonna get like Moses down the river. It's sweet in a way.
And like, is there like an age range?
Yeah, when do the kids get handed off? If we sign
when do they stop being
papers,
babies?
When is like the cutoff? You know, there's people who say like, my child is 98 months old. You know that?
I don't know anyone like that. I feel like you're speaking from personal experience,
I'm thinking
though.
about people
Oh,
who,
yes.
like, they're like,
47 months
they're
She's
my
like,
child is
you know those
24
people who say, my child is 98 months old, Mom.
You know, people are like, they're like, yeah, my child is 24 months old. Like, no, your child's 2. You can round to 2. You can say 2.
We can round up to the number
I
now.
feel like after something about like 18 months, I feel like you're pushing it. You know?
Well, yeah. Well, it also kind of goes like, once you're in your 20s, you're like, yeah, I'm in my 20s.
yeah,
In your 30s, like, you start getting more general.
yeah.
And then if you're old, you're just like,
I'm old.
don't worry about it. Yeah.
We're gonna like
Does it
dictate the
matter?
rules for how you should address your age. We are in charge of that.
My grandmother's like, don't ask. Okay, don't. Okay.
Really?
No, she's not.
I
But
just tell my mom. I just tell her when she's 24.
your mom is 24.
Yeah. I'm 20. She's 24.
She.
I'll be 21 on Valentine's Day.
What are you going to do when
Oh.
she's 24 and you're 24?
You'll have to wear that mask.
Yeah,
heart's
that's
on
why
it.
my grandma made me a bunch of heart masks. It's on a Valentine's Day.
Well, that's sweet.
I can't believe you told them your birthday.
Oh God, no. Oh,
You're
no.
always
How do you
divulging
do it?
personal
What are you doing?
information.
Personal info.
No, it's okay.
This one is a patch.
This is the female lizards as a patch.
I can just get rid of this no part. Okay, zooming out.
Check out the males.
Let's actually do we'll do a cat pick for this one as well. Here we go, for Mallory.
You're gonna have one floppy-eared cat.
We'll stop for cat picks for
I will.
Mallory.
Thank you.
Stop for cat pics.
For Pusheen cat picks.
Colts International. What is that?
Be nice, Sarah. What?
Yeah,
I'm being
Sarah.
nice. Mama Bamba, I don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
I don't know anything about business. I don't want to know.
Maybe she meant be nice to Sarah.
Ooh. These are so cool.
The SEM images?
Yes.
Yeah, they're okay.
Scanning electron microscope is cool.
Hey, did we get a new follow?
Did we?
Look at that. Dusha, thank you for the follow. That brings us up to 989.
Duet Dusha, thank you for the follow. The delay. Yeah.
You crack yourself up. Which cats are better, these ones or the other
Oh.
ones?
Yeah,
Is
the
that
ones-
is Duet Dusha your mom?
No.
Okay, I'm just
But
checking.
Mama Bonbon was talking about how they have just anniversaries of 39th birthdays.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine. That's cool. See, after that point, it's nobody's business.
I
Except for maybe
know.
the Social Security office when you're eventually at that point. But
I haven't had a birthday party since I was 6. Do people like still do that? Like, how
Do you
long
want to have a birthday party this year?
No. How long are you
We can throw you one. I've got hats and little.
There's lights.
I can no, listen. When we get
We
to
can make noisemakers and hats. I got them right over there.
When we get to 1K, I'll just live off that high until my birthday, and it'll be like it's a party. I saw this one tweet the other day, and it said boys get their Eagle Scouts badge and they live off that high for the rest of their life.
No, the one nice thing I would say about the 1,000 boundary, I just crossed 1,000 followers on Twitter,
Really?
and I'm just about to cross 1,000 followers on Twitch.
Are you gonna be like?
And I've been on Twitter for 4 years,
Yeah.
Are you
and I've been on
gonna
Twitch
have,
for
like-
5
I
months.
think I only have like 300 on Twitter.
I have not as many as either of those numbers. A smaller number than those numbers.
A small dedicated fan base.
Yes, absolutely, they're dedicated. One like per tweet.
That's all we're allotted.
Yeah. I tweet like I just tell people I'm still breathing and moving, just not quite a water bear.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes. I like the other cat picture better just because they're a bit more defined than these cats.
oh, the crusty edges.
There are some crusty edges everywhere. Is that like
Do
blood?
cats not have crusty edges?
No.
I mean,
cats are-
my cat does.
My sister's cat is like so clean. It's a little brat.
That's no way to talk about a cat.
Dude, it's so rude. It walked up to me and like butted heads with me, and which is a sign of affection. So I was like, oh my god, we're good friends. And then he
And these are
And then
more
he's-
scales.
Hey,
These
these
are
are
belly
different
scales.
scales though.
This is the male.
These look different. Some are
They do.
round. They don't all have cat ears.
Yeah.
Who is this?
Otherwise similar, yeah.
They seem.
Oh, sorry, I had a feeling.
Some of them are round.
Huh. Interesting.
Slightly different. And maybe the sizes are different. I don't
Yeah,
know. I
that's
didn't
right.
measure them.
Can you zoom in and see the color changing cells?
Well,
don't
I can
know.
zoom in, but all we're looking at is the scales. So,
Anakin Luke is giving up.
It's okay. Yeah, you win some, you lose some. And by some, I mean all.
ouch.
How do you drive the SPM?
Do you want to drive it?
Maybe.
Let's do it.
I want to try it.
Good. I like that.
When else am I going to try it? So.
Exactly. Next time you're on, probably. I'll show you. It's relatively simple. Now would be a great time if I had another camera, but I don't. So there's a wheel on this thing.
Mhm.
That's your magnification. So when you spin it,
okay.
you zoom in and out. The focus doesn't change when you spin the magnification at all.
Huh.
So you can zoom in, get a nice clean image, then zoom back out. It'll still be in focus. The bottom wheel is the focus wheel. So it changes the focus, but it doesn't change your magnification at all,
Huh.
right? So you get it in focus here, and then zoom out. That's what I normally do, and then everything's in focus.
Uh-huh.
And then there's one other critical component, which is like how do you move around and how do you change the speed,
Uh-huh.
right? So you can use the speed up here
Okay.
as options, or you can just use the mouse wheel. If you roll it towards the screen, it speeds up.
Ooh.
If you roll it towards yourself, it slows down.
Okay.
It's really easy if you're just spinning it to remember which way, because if you spin it this way, everything stops moving. If you spin it this way, everything turns grainy.
Yeah.
And then wherever you put the mouse cursor, you use the same wheel for rolling the thing, and you just click on it, and it moves that to the middle. So if I wanted that to be in the middle, it will move it to the middle of the screen.
Okay.
So the most you can move it from here is
Is-
1/2 of a screen in any direction,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So you just go there, I want that in the middle, it moves to the middle. So it's clicking this wheel, spinning this wheel, and then those two wheels.
And then those two wheels.
And you'll see me occasionally do this,
Uh-huh.
which brings up the little box, and double clicking again gets rid of the box. All that does is it changes what it's scanning to what's inside the box.
Huh.
So you see how this image is
It's
clean,
just-
but
yeah,
the
and
rest of the
everything else
image is
is-
grainy? It's because it's only drawing that. And the reason you might want to do that is if I want to see what it looks like, but I don't want to wait for it to draw the whole screen. If it's just drawing a little box, it draws it a lot faster.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Easy, right?
Yeah, sure.
Here you go. Anything else that you need to do? Just we can talk about it, but give it a try.
Okay.
I let undergrads handle it, so I feel like you could handle it.
Oh, I feel better when you say that.
Not trying to put any undergrads down, but
No, it's fine. You can do that.
Mallory is highly trained, more so than like just anybody.
I know at least 3 things.
And then once you start doing this, you get this sort of like amazing. I can change the magnification to whatever I want. Sort of high. So when you scroll out, you can really scroll out like you're going into outer space with it. And if you want to zoom in, you can just zoom in like crazy as well. Just keep in mind when you get really close, you're probably going to want to change the beam intensity, and there's some other characteristics that you might want to change. But outside of that, if you're tired of looking at male lizard cells and you want to go look at the toe or whatever else that we had, tail scales or whatever, just click on any of these numbers and it'll go to whatever on that number. So if you want to jump over and see the teeth or the toes or whatever, click on the number and it'll take us to that stuff. I'll just let you go ahead and do the photography if you want.
Oh
If
gosh.
you want to take a picture, you just get the speed set to the speed that you want the image to take, and then just click this thing right
Pikachu,
there.
thank you for the follow.
Put the- Okay.
We're only 10 away or 11 away.
I would
Something
be
like that?
correct, but I don't know.
The best part about letting other people use the scanning electron microscope is
You-
I brought brownies. And now I can eat a brownie. Oh.
You just like keep them like tucked in your mess, and then when you find you just go, oh.
Like a chipmunk.
Come take a look at this. This is what I wanted to show you.
Me?
Yeah.
I thought you were using my phone for a second.
No.
The protest?
No, they're inside now.
Hmm?
They're inside now. There's someone sitting in Pelosi's chair.
They're in the Capitol building?
Yeah.
Like random people?
Yeah. Well, not random. And then all the senators or the Congress people are in that.
Yeah, that's what Pez was saying. He lives in D.C.
Yeah.
Said that the D.C.'s on lockdown.
Oh.
I just left you over here. How you doing?
Okay, cool. I kind of want to take a picture of this.
Good.
What is it?
It's the rounded one.
It's a rounded one with another rounded one next to it.
Okay, go to speed. Set it to 7. And then I usually set this beam intensity to 7. And hit enter. And then if it's composed the way you want it, just hit that little thing right there.
This thing?
Yeah. You took your first SEM picture.
That's so cool.
It's pretty easy.
Hello, everybody. Not my first lizard dissection, but my very first SEM picture, which is super cool.
And while that's up, what I usually do is then I jump over to this thing.
Go hang
so
out
I
with
can
these
see
folks.
what people have to say.
Thanks, Mama Bonbon. Miss Stacy D. Sorella? Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
Now you are an SEM photographer like me.
Duh. All right, folks. That's cool.
990. 990 followers. 10 away
You're so close.
from party hats and little party noisemakers that I brought. And I got the
And lights.
lights too.
Then
that'll
you worked
turn
really
on.
hard on putting those lights up.
I don't know about really hard. I pinned them up. But we're not turning them on until we get to that 1K followers. So
Yeah, it's just gonna be sad.
Mallory's gonna have to make 10 accounts if people don't start following.
They can't see me.
I know.
That's
It's,
a piece.
you put yourself over there where they can't see you, and I put myself over here where they can just see my shoulder.
Yeah.
You just, like, short,
This was just-
or, like,
it was
maybe
just-
Yeah, that's the way we should do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the shoulder stream now.
This is
Here, or line and stuff up here.
so close. So close.
Really?
Cyanide teacups.
Oh, I can see it on.
Cyanide Teacups is here.
Woohoo! Diatoms and lizards.
You missed the dissection process, teacups. You know, we had Sarah here was cutting lizards apart live,
Yeah.
and dead lizards. not
Dead
live.
lizards, we did it live. Yeah.
Live stream dead lizards. That's actually my new motto. You'll watch the VOD. It's really fascinating. They had their heads cut off before we started. They had been decapitated, and you could see all their inner parts, you know,
Yeah.
after she put the scissors through 'em.
Yeah. Cut them open, cut some skin off, took their skin jacket off a little bit.
We then put their jacket on to the SEM, which is what we're looking at now, their skin jackets.
Yep. So I think we can look at a toe next. I
Let's
think
do
would be
it.
Fun. Let's look at some toes. Do
We'll
you-
see like
Do you
how
know what number the toe was?
I think it's just the next
Toe?
one on the way
That's
around.
4.
All right.
It's the next stub. So that's probably done.
Okay.
Yep, that
This one.
Yep. And then you just need to put a name on it. Hit OK.
Oh, gosh.
That's just the note. And then just put the name, whatever you want to call it. Probably not cat 2. Now you're in my world. You have to type around the
Oh my
microphone.
gosh, why?
It's a lot harder when you have to look at the keys.
Was this the patch or no patch? I think this is no patch.
It's whatever 3 was. Mallory?
3 was no patch. It
There's
was
no
male,
patch.
no patch.
Oh, click that to
Oh
close
yes,
the
that's the
picture.
picture.
Yeah, now we're looking at a live feed, but you need to speed it up, so roll towards the screen. There you go. So somebody had asked, would we see the tool markings on the lizard scales? And I don't think we do.
Yeah, I don't see
I
too
mean,
much.
obviously we see the
I
scissors.
mean, there's some that are cut.
We see where the scissors were, because they make straight lines. But the rest of it, not so much.
Oh, that's as far as back as we're going.
Yep. So those look a little bit wider
Yeah.
to me. Also, the males' scales seem like they're more beat up.
Yeah, they really do.
I'm not an expert, but they look beat up.
They do look pretty beat up. Alright.
Those are like
So
fat
those are the
cats. The other cats are very like triangular, right?
Yeah.
Like it came up and then it had ears, and these ones are like fat and then have ears.
Maybe they're just fluffy.
That one has multiple heads.
Oh.
That's right.
There's a bunch of ridges on that one.
Yeah.
That's nice. I think we've got some gunk, some lint hanging out.
Is that a technical term? Does this also have the toe on it if we move over a little?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering where the toe was.
Oh, damn.
It's gonna be
That's
on
an
one side or
edge.
the other, I guess.
Those are the only options. Yeah, it's either gonna be on one side.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a dragon claw.
It is.
Yes.
Lizard toe.
That's amazing, actually.
That's really cool. Wow, those, like, it's really
Let's
smooth.
zoom in on that and look
Yeah,
at it.
let's check it out.
It's not that sharp. On the critique,
Oh, it's got.
All right.
You're like, I've seen better toes.
I've seen sharper too.
Sharper image.
I actually think those scales are really kind of cool.
Yeah, they
flex
are.
Outward. And they have a lot of that hexagonal texture to the bottom of them.
They really do.
Did I just say I've seen better toes? Yes, I did, and I will not revoke that.
Is that Anakin Luke? Because he's always like fixated on your feet.
That was cyanide teacups. Anakin left a while ago when he wasn't gonna give off any of his babies.
When none of his offsprings were taken.
Yeah.
He needed a new market.
I'm sure there's a place on Twitch for him and his toads and his babies.
I'm sure.
All right, so this is. Yeah.
So I think I'm not sure what you're trying to do.
I just want to focus.
Yeah. So the mistake most people have is that they're too timid with the magnification wheel. Zoom us in real close and then try to focus. So you're not having to squint at it. Use the SEM as your glasses, basically. And
It
now
is
you
like a
can-
superpower.
It is. Microvision. Now you can spin it until it looks like it's getting clearer rather than blurrier. I think you're getting blurrier.
I'm getting blurrier.
That's getting better. It's still
It's
improving.
this whole speed and like focus.
There you go.
Oh look, there's like
Now you've done it.
I've done it.
Now double click and it'll make the whole screen that way.
I've gone too far.
Yes.
When has science gone too far?
Now if you
Okay.
double click, it'll get rid of the box and draw the whole thing at that focal height.
Ooh,
Isn't that neat?
it is. Well, that's cool. Right now we're on the claw too. This is like the actual claw itself.
Yeah. It's a flaky claw.
It is.
Did you give her a shout
I
out?
gave her a shout out.
Should we talk a little bit about cyanide teacups?
And what?
What she streams.
Cyanide teacups streams, well, listen here. She develops her own form of cyanide using a teacup derivative. Teacups are actually a natural plant too.
No.
This is what you've been missing.
No.
Right there. For the last month and a half when Mallory's been gone.
Mallory's
whatever it is,
excellent content.
is her made up nonsense,
Yes.
which she claims a computer could not emulate. But
You know, I don't think a computer could even begin. Oh,
it wants you to do that because I changed the beam. So hit adjustment right there, and then auto gun heating, and you just hit auto. It'll hit OK. I guess. Maybe see. Let me see. Tell
It's
it
mad.
manual, and then we did it auto. It's not mad. It's just when we started, I had the voltage set to 30. The accelerating voltage was set to 30 kilovolts, and I lowered it down to 10
Mhm.
because we're looking at large stuff
Mhm.
instead of really tiny stuff.
Yeah.
And also, we don't need to see deeply into the material.
Huh.
So when I did that, the filament needs to be adjusted for optimal settings when you change the accelerating voltage, and I didn't do it. It seemed to be working just
But no, it's-
fine, but at some point it decided it needs some adjustments.
It needs adjustment. It just needs.
and I just let it do it. So there you go.
Oh wow.
That's what it wanted you to see.
Yeah. It really wanted us to see this. This is cool. I don't know what it is.
Now it's actually scaled appropriately for the temperature is scaled appropriately for the voltage.
All right. So let's.
Bubbly cracks.
They're really cool bubbly cracks though. Well, yeah, there's a lizard claw, folks.
Yeah, it's insanely in focus because we focused in on the really tiny at 10,000 times magnification,
Yeah.
and now we're zoomed out to 300 times magnification. So it's like, oh yeah,
You
now
can
it's in
see
focus.
everything.
Yeah. So it's stuff that's in the you can see where it kind of flakes
Ooh.
right there along the edge.
Yeah, where it's starting to wear.
Yeah. That happens when you do a lot of push-ups on rocks, I think.
Yeah.
What happens is it breaks down your toenails.
I bet a dog toenail would look like that too.
Probably. I'm not gonna sacrifice a dog, unfortunately.
No. But like when you clip them.
You could clip it. We could clip some dog toenails and take a look at them.
This is cool.
It looks like a flaky croissant.
Delightful.
A delicious flaky croissant.
Is it made of
So
bread?
delicious.
Yeah, I think so.
That was the question.
Oh, I thought that was your question.
Nay. It was not.
It's so hard to tell because you didn't give us the question person.
I'll give like a special. Oh, it was asked by Sargocentron.
Oh, okay.
I will continue to. I will add special inflection as my question.
Did you do
I'll do
people
a-
in the chats you get a special voice
Yeah.
from Mallory?
Yeah. Mama Bon Bon said, "Bottom of the quick."
All
Your
right.
accents are terrible.
I know. Dude.
They're really bad. Can we take a picture of the
Do it.
claw? All right.
Speed.
7.
Yep. Beam intensity. So you'll need to click on beam intensity. Yep. And then set it to 7. This advanced, and hit enter. And then, if you want, you can actually hit I think it already did it. It already auto adjusted for brightness and contrast, but to see how the top of it's really bright?
Yeah.
If you hit that auto button with the sun and the moon, yeah, it will try to figure out the right brightness. And that's because we were zoomed in,
Mm-hmm.
and when you zoom back out,
Everything's really-
it's adjusted for the little part you had zoomed
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
So flaky toenails.
Brightness is interesting as far as like electrons.
Yeah. It's
Go.
how much of the electrons coming off of the specimen are reaching the secondary detector. And if a lot of them get there, then what happens is like a positive charge on the secondary detector, and
This one?
it pulls the electrons towards it,
Mhm.
and then there's like a photoreceptor on there, and each electron that hits it causes it to flash. And the more that hit it, the brighter that flash gets, because it stays
Okay, yeah.
lit. And then it records that information basically and moves on to the next one. So, but it all happens so fast, despite it taking forever to draw the image.
Mm.
Think about how all those processes are going on, right? How fast all that stuff's happening in like microseconds,
Yeah.
right? It's just like scanning across there and hitting it and getting all that electron information all at like super fast rates.
Right, and it's super precise.
And super precise. Yeah. You can occasionally get some defects that
Mhm.
happen in, but they're usually a result of obstruction or structures that are up above whatever you're looking at,
Mhm.
or if the specimen's not coated with gold, then you got electrons that are charged on a surface, and that will create a problem.
All right, lizard jaw next.
Sure. Oh, I would like it if we did one where we could see the whole like
Yeah, yeah,
scales and claw.
Yeah.
So we should do that as well.
Yes.
I mean, you're driving, so if you don't
Mhm.
want to do that, we don't.
Oh, we should do that. I would love to
just
see the full
think
claw.
it would be a pretty thing for me to make a
Whole toe.
Instagram image for.
Lizard jaw, great band name.
Hey, it's Mind of a Snail. I don't think we've seen Mind of a Snail yet today. Maybe they just talked when I wasn't looking at the screen. Mallory, can you do your job?
Yes.
Oh, you just got here. Earlier, Sarah, this is Sarah Worthington. She's a PhD student here who's looking at lizards. And she dissected the lizard live from a different camera over at a different table. And then we put some of the skin and claws and teeth and other things into the SEM. So now we're looking at a lizard claw that we collected. It started off beheaded, actually. Before we got there, it came pre-beheaded. Yes. Try saying that.
But not behanded.
Yeah, it wasn't completely behanded.
Right.
It's not actually that gruesome, surprisingly.
Nope, wasn't too gruesome.
Not a lot of blood.
Nope. Do you have...
Blurry.
Ah!
Where's a ghost? Where a ghost
That's how the
streamer?
microphone ends up messed up.
Oh no.
Right there. I was making like an electrical noise up there. I was just making sure that the roof wasn't catching on fire or something horrible. just been getting messages on my phone all day and just totally ignoring them. So hopefully people aren't sending me anything important.
Right?
I mean, other than the fact that
Ah.
there's a
lot of stuff going on.
riots
Not
going
here.
on in DC or something.
A lot of stuff going on right here. Where am I? There we go. Let's speed this sucker up.
Like a pro.
Ta-da! I need to zoom out if we're gonna get the whole claw.
Yeah. Or as much of it as we can.
It's so cool. Oh, too much.
Can you go out? Yeah.
Yep, I need to go up.
Perfect. That's probably out far enough.
Yeah.
It looks like a
'Cause
pine
you can
cone
still
with a
see-
claw on the end of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Speed 7?
Speed 7.
Beam intensity is already at 7?
Yes.
We're good.
All right.
Punch it.
Let's go. Yes. Creepy head. Yeah.
What's creepy?
Creepy headed.
Creepy headed.
Oh, goodness.
Mind of a snail. I like your little pinky panic.
It's all gonna be okay.
That's an open set icon below it. The moon.
The moon?
Yeah.
Opens the moon.
Open set.
So yeah, these lizards are what I do my research on. They're really cool. I research the females and how they're. I also look at how their color changes too on their bellies. If they have blue on their bellies or if they lose their blue. And it seems like right now, after looking at some of the results, it seems like they're losing their blue as the season goes on.
So they start off extra blue
Yeah.
and then decrease in blueness.
Yeah, and I think that's because they use the blue on their bellies to kind of warn other females to stay away.
Uh-huh.
Leave me alone. And then...
I do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then after they give birth, they don't need the blue anymore because they've got, they don't have to worry about their offspring getting harmed because they're not carrying their offspring with them anymore. So they're ready to fight. They're ready to throw down. They're like, you know what? I don't need a blue flag anymore. I'm just gonna drop gloves. Let's go.
Huh.
So.
Signaling to fight.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. Also, if you're blue, birds can see blue, so
Oh.
you don't want to get eaten by a bird.
Why didn't they pick a different color?
I don't think they had a choice.
Oh. Mama Bonbon wants to know if it's hormonal.
Ooh, yeah. So I'm actually studying whether it's hormonal or not, and the answer is maybe. There is, hormones do control us all. Mind of a snail, you're right. I look at corticosterone, which is a stress hormone. I also look at testosterone. It doesn't seem like the testosterone changes a whole lot. They have really low testosterone.
Pregnant women have no
Yeah.
testosterone?
Yeah. Who would have thought, right? There's a couple of them that had kind of like some testosterone, but it seems like it's pretty low. The melatonin might be one of the causes too. But your melanin is actually affected with your corticosterone. So with your stress hormones, it's released at the same time.
It's finished.
It is. Where are we going? Here we go.
Just hit OK for this part.
There we go.
And then
I'm
put
like, I don't know.
whatever you want in the next part.
It's a whole lizard toe.
We slayed a dragon, and we cut off its toe, and here it is.
This is what we have to show for it.
It's our lucky dragon claw.
All right.
Going to 5?
Yeah, I don't remember what 5 is.
It looks like the teeth.
It's the teeth. Yep. It's the jaw. Let's zoom out and look at the whole thing.
The best way to figure out what it is just to go there.
Cool.
Are we as far out as it'll go?
Yep.
So,
This is jaw.
yeah, that's the jaw for sure.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness, the teeth It's like the side teeth and the front teeth that we're looking at right there?
Yep. Yeah, so these are the side teeth, these are the front
It's
teeth.
the front teeth.
They do not have differentiated teeth.
Oh, okay. Like they don't have teeth for grinding and teeth
No,
for
nope,
grasping.
nope, that's a mammal
grasping
thing.
Or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So all their teeth would look the same.
Yeah.
But the size of those are different in the front, right?
Yeah, so the wear pattern's going to be different.
Oh.
So things like vipers, they have differentiated teeth, of course.
I want a tiny little lizard tooth on a necklace. I can pretend it's a dragon tooth.
And they're not rooted teeth either.
Oh,
So,
they're just sitting there.
yes.
Is there a
There's some-
missing tooth?
They're like cemented on there, but yeah, maybe?
It
Looks like
there's
that's a
gap.
missing tooth right there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think we should zoom in on those things, those front teeth.
These front teeth, these
Yeah.
sharp front teeth,
No, those ones, yeah, with the ridge.
the better ones.
Those are crazy looking.
Those are so cool.
Now they just need focus.
We do need a little bit of focus.
So normally I would double click,
Yeah.
yep, and then focus, and then double click again.
Nope, getting worse.
Someone said give this dragon a quarter.
Quarter?
Mama Bamba. Wait, no. Give this dragon a quarter.
Quarter? That's pretty good, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Double click.
There we go. Just trying to figure it out.
It's coming right at us.
Wow.
What?
These
Enhance.
people love their enhance.
Enhance?
The enhance never died.
Yeah.
They're just always like enhance.
These
Very
are
sculpted.
cool. Yeah. Ruffles have ridges.
They do have like a really cool ridge.
Yeah.
Well, one on each side, and then one that kind of cuts down through the middle. Looks like the
Yeah.
top of a dune.
So, yeah. I think we should take a picture of a dune.
Yeah.
Is it?
Just
What am I
you know,
thinking?
if you feel like comfortable with the focus.
So I'm wondering. Let's see.
Yeah,
We
zoom
can
in.
Zoom in.
There you go. Now you've got it.
There we go.
And then focus. Oh yeah. Now it's gonna be superb.
Beautiful.
Now when you zoom out, it won't look like the surface. Of
Ooh.
it's the surface of the moon right there.
Yeah, definitely. That's like a cool depression really quick. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Really not a whole lot of, plaque or anything hanging out on this too.
We've got good news and bad news. The good news is your teeth cleaning is going to be relatively easy this time.
Oh, there's like a chunk taken out of this one
Yeah.
too.
The bad news is
I don't think I did that either.
your body's missing, and we don't know where it is. 7 and 7, you're good.
Sargo Centron said the lizard had tiny, tiny cavities.
It looks like maybe it does have like a broken piece.
Yeah.
You know what probably happened? Is Cyanide Teacup still here?
I don't know.
Probably what happened is the lizard was riding a skateboard and it went straight into a wall. You know?
Ow?
And then it chipped its teeth.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh. That would just be a terrible experience.
She will get that joke.
Uh-huh.
She sometimes streams Spyro,
Oh, okay.
the dragon.
You mean Spyro?
Spyro.
You said Spyro.
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 You're both saying the same thing.
No.
I think we are. Do they have infinite teeth replacement like sharks?
I don't know. I haven't studied teeth of lizards. I don't think so. I'm guessing they probably have a finite number. It's probably more than just 2 sets, though.
Really?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
You know,
I have
sharks'
no
whole
idea.
bodies are teeth. Like this skin is made of teeth.
Yeah.
Goes like all the way out of their mouth and around their whole body. However, people, and you may not know this, they're born with all the teeth in their head when they start.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, little kids, like, it's terrifying to look at like, what's going on inside their face.
Never look at their X-ray. No.
The X-ray, because
Don't
it's like
do
all
it.
teeth.
It's scary.
All their adult teeth are just stuck in their head, waiting to come up.
Like little tooth buds everywhere.
It's terrifying.
It's scary. Yep. But all mammals have 2 sets of teeth.
All mammals.
Or most. I don't know about marsupials. So I don't know about marsupials because opossums have like triangular teeth in their back. Their molars are triangular instead of square.
Flat ones.
Yeah. Yep, they're triangle shaped instead of square.
The sooner the kids lose their teeth, their baby teeth, the better, in my opinion.
Does your kid still have her baby teeth?
She's lost the front teeth.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I think one of the back of teeth. One tooth somewhere else in her mouth as well.
Do you guys collect
It's so
for teeth?
cool on the side.
Or do you guys throw them away?
I'm making a necklace out of them.
Are you?
That's the weirdest thing. You had to go for a second. I was like,
I mean, it wouldn't.
His
It wouldn't
eyes
be.
were like blank.
It
like,
wouldn't be
I-
the
like-
Processing.
weirdest.
Processing.
I was like, is that something people do? How should I react to this moment?
You know, the normal way when somebody tells you they're making a necklace of baby teeth.
I don't know if there's a.
Someone had a special baby tooth box with like lined with like red velvet, and that was like a normal thing. And I was like, what the actual heck?
Pete, I mean,
You guys like put them out back, like put them in the ground.
I actually don't deal with any of the tooth parts,
Really?
but the tooth in our family gets carried away by the tooth fairy, I think.
Really, what
I
does the
see.
fairy do with the?
I don't ask.
I don't.
Well,
Do you stop the tooth fairy mid-flight?
I'm asleep when this tooth fairy comes.
Really, you are.
No. Sylvia wanted to keep her teeth. I don't know why, but
I really.
she asked for the money that the tooth fairy, I'm gonna put that in quotes, would do. She wanted the money the tooth fairy would give, and then she wanted to keep the teeth.
Bold child.
I don't know what she's gonna do with it.
I like where she's going with it though.
I think maybe she was thinking she could pretend teeth fell out later and get more money.
Oh, well, that's not as
Or-
She's
exciting.
afraid to give up part of herself.
Oh yeah, she just
Right.
doesn't want to give it up.
Yeah.
That's possible.
That sounds like really deep out of context, but we are talking about baby teeth.
What is
We're
that
talking about-
frilled thing?
This is the tongue. This is the part of the tongue.
What?
These are like the gum. I think this is like the gums and then the tongue. I cut the tongue off right here.
Those are the gums?
I don't. It looks like it.
Can we zoom in on those?
Yes.
What the heck?
They look really cool.
It's very artistic.
It is.
I definitely feel like I'm
Do you-
looking at some sort of weird sculpture.
Do we need a picture of this?
Yeah, can you move it so that the teeth at the bottom are present a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, just a little bit lower because I want that tooth curl in there. That's it. This is what composition is all about right here.
This is the magic. Or a little bit down more.
You can move it if you want. I wanted a little bit of tooth in there. Because the top part's boring and the teeth are interesting.
There we go. I like this. This is good. And
Do
now
it.
we zoom. What
Zoom
do we want to
in,
focus on?
Zoom out, picture, the regular. The huge.
To use.
You see how easy it is? Like,
It is
once you start-
really straightforward once you figure out what the hell you're doing.
Once your brain maps out the controls, then it's just an extension of yourself. I don't even think when I have to slow down and tell people what I'm doing. I have to go how did I do that? Especially the yellow box part. I'm so used to double clicking. I can't remember how I get things to happen.
I'm like that with processing samples. I got a lot of messages over break asking about processing samples. And I was
I think you had it and then it came out. I think it's right in there somewhere. If you move that little box up, you can
Yeah.
drag it. Just drag it. There you go.
onto that. Yeah. So we're actually on something.
Perfect.
Yeah, there we go. Cool.
And out.
And in
And see.
and out.
Well, I don't know where else you guys are going to find live dissections of lizards, which are then subsequently stuck into a scanning electron microscope anywhere else on Twitch, but I defy anyone else to try.
Right? Good luck, everybody else. Okay.
Speed 7, beam intensity 7. Hit the button. That's it.
Did we lose
It's like learning to drive.
I am here. I will never leave.
Yeah, Sylvia is the smart one.
I will
She's
never cease.
she's prepared. You know, don't give up your teeth. Why give up your teeth?
Who wears the necklace? That's a good question. Dermal denticles covering the whole bodies, yeah. The normal reaction.
Good luck, cyanide teacups. Ask if you can pre-order. Oh no.
Oh, Miss Daisy D. Can you give a shout out to Miss Daisy D?
I gave it earlier.
She's hosting our stream as well.
Still 990.
We're still missing 10 followers to reach 1,000. Those lights aren't going to turn themselves on.
You know, they really aren't.
I can always just leave them up till Saturday.
Yeah?
We still have the party hats and the little noisemakers. They can wait. You know.
Oh.
Miss Daisy D is the best. You should check out her streams. She draws stuff. She talks. Just chats sometimes. Plays a little D&D now and then. She's been doing some sort of painting on her iPad recently, I think, or tablet, or whatever she uses. And then playing back the video of the painting. Like Procreate lets you sort of showcase how you got to the end, like piece by piece. And so it's like a little video going on. She was doing a live stream of her fish tank cam earlier. Yeah, she
Ooh.
does that sometimes too, just like a chill picture of her fish tank.
Just
A
fish.
variety streamer. I seen one time she was in a pottery room doing pottery. I've
Nice.
seen that. She's a bunch of cool artsy things. Also,
Yeah, no schedule.
you just what I want. I would do that too if I had the SEM at home, but unfortunately I have to come in the lab, which means I need to give my wife some idea of when I'm going to be here
And eventually come home.
and hopefully come home. Ooh, it's so artsy.
It is.
Artsy lizard teeth.
Yep. The last one I named Lizard Teefers.
So this was the skull. And what was on 6?
I don't remember.
6? That was not.
Oh, I thought we had little scales.
With the jaw?
With the jaw.
Yeah.
I thought if we move off to the side, I think there was some scales that you'd plucked.
Here's
You can see the jaw sticking up off the...
You just need to...
Oh, we need to speed it up.
Yep.
Speed things up a little bit,
And
folks.
then zoom out and move around.
Jump around. Nope, that's an edge.
We're good at finding the edges.
We are very good at finding the edges. This is the
That's
beginning of the
Back
jaw,
to the jaw.
or the
I know.
proximal end of the jaw.
Maybe.
Oh, oh,
Yep. Yep.
tail scales. Big tail scales.
Yep.
These are huge.
They're inverse of the other ones.
Yeah.
You know, the other ones have
They
like
look-
little cat ears.
They look like,
Manta ray, stingray.
yes, and Crabs. Horseshoe crabs.
Horseshoe crabs, yeah.
That's the other thing I was thinking.
That's a good comparison.
Oh, and it's got some, like,
Yeah, I'm not sure what
weird
that is.
texture going on.
Yeah. It's probably a depression? I don't know. Oh, you might be able to actually see some differences in the density of the material. I don't know.
Oh.
But that's kind of cool.
Maybe, but it's kind of weird that it's only on one side.
Or maybe it's like dirt.
Gunk.
Dirt on the surface. Hey, did you get mittens?
I did get mittens.
Why didn't you show them to us?
I was waiting for Pacific Lincoln to be here.
Oh, I think she's was here earlier, and then she said she had to go. She's at her lake house.
Lake House?
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
Pacific Lincoln is, living the life.
It actually looks different, though.
Yeah.
These are my mittens. I did cry
Covered
when
with
I
something.
opened them.
Oh my goodness. This little kitten has some mittens.
They're so cute.
They fit.
I love them. I know, they're like perfect. Which is kind of strange that she knows like my hand dimensions.
She probably saw your hands,
Did a screen grab.
did a screen grab, and then measured it against some known thing like a phone. You know? Or,
That's
hear me out,
Oh.
she just used a pattern for medium-sized hands.
Mm.
no, she probably like measured them somehow, some way.
Can we give her a shout out?
Pacific, if you see this later, thank you so much.
She said she was gonna watch the video.
Well, thank you so much for them. They made my entire day.
These are like
And
different
I wore them
textures.
around
Yeah, I don't know what's
everywhere.
causing that.
And
I don't know
will continue
either.
to wear them around wherever I go.
Like, it might just be dirt.
When she gets tired of them, I'll steal them from her.
They shall be mine.
So sometime in the summer, I'll be wearing mittens.
Lorgana is rating with a party of 4.
Who is?
Lorgana.
Who?
Welcome.
Lorgana.
Lorgana?
Lorgana.
Glorgana.
Lorgana.
Can we say thank you to Glorgana
Thank you, Lorgana.
for the raid? That's a huge following of 4 people you brought in.
Especially when we just need 10 more.
If we just had 10 followers right now, for the low price of 10 followers, I will turn lights on and wear a party hat and blow party, what are those noisemaker things? Thank you for the raid, and welcome raiders. We are currently looking at a lizard, scales of a lizard that Sarah dissected earlier,
Mm-hmm.
live on the feed, and then we stuffed them into my scanning electron microscope. We did it all in this room,
We did.
from the dissection to the preparation to the sputter coating to stuffing them into the scanning electron microscope. And now we're collecting images of them
Did it
on
by
the scanning
myself.
electron microscope. And we got a new follower. This time it is Blue Ziff 150. And that brings us to 991 followers. 9 away from 1,000. You were bummed to miss the lizard? Well, all of my streams are kept here for like 2 months on Twitch.
You just finished skinning a squirrel? That's so cool.
What happened? You were skinning a squirrel.
You were skinning a squirrel? We should hang out.
I feel like maybe we should have like a cross stream. Lizard, squirrel. Did you stuff parts of the squirrel into a scanning electron microscope at the end of your stream? For like an hour and a half or 2 hours?
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Ours wasn't very gory,
No.
which is probably good. You do museum prep. Oh, that's super cool.
That is super cool.
She does taxidermy.
Yeah. Museum prep is just like in a standardized
Ours was a
position.
little less gentle.
Practice squirrel, I usually do birds. Really?
A practice squirrel.
I would think squirrels would be easier to do because their skin's thicker. Rabbits are really hard. Rabbits are really hard to skin.
Really?
Yeah, they have really thin skin.
I'm the same way.
I skinned a bobcat. Oh, so it was like, using roadkill.
Yeah.
That's a good way to use it, though, for
It's good for
educational purposes.
practice.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, you peel a rabbit.
is that how you solve
Oh,
the
okay,
problem?
that makes sense. Yeah.
I saw somebody hit a squirrel yesterday when I was driving,
Oh no.
and we were only driving like 20 miles an hour.
Right.
And I thought, how could you be driving this slow and hit a squirrel? Like, without trying.
Hmm.
I mean, sometimes squirrels are crazy and they just run out in front of your car, but like,
Yeah.
it was the car in front of me, so I just saw the squirrel body go flying.
I'm still more
It's
hanging
very
out.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Both ways.
They really should.
I know.
They should really use
They need to put up signs for
school.
squirrel crossing.
Well, they should use
and then the
school
squirrels
or
will know where they
pedestrian
can
crossings.
cross.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, Rabbits
This is a
also
squirrel
smell bad.
public service announcement. Yeah. All the squirrels out there who are watching, like and subscribe. Oh wait, that's
Where are
YouTube.
squirrels gonna get cash?
I don't know. Probably they would just pay us in acorns. I know that's what the ones around my house do.
Sklar.
Sklar.
Sklar. Oh dear goodness.
This is the tail scale
Tail scale.
of what's the lizard? Spiny
A mountain spiny lizard. Or
Why is it mountain spiny lizard and not spiny mountain lizard?
I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't name it. It's also called Yarrow's spiny lizard.
Are there?
It's a person.
We say it's a mountain spiny lizard.
Yes.
Is there non-mountainous spiny lizards?
Yes. There are desert spiny lizards.
There's
Scoloporus
mountain
magister.
spiny lizard and desert spiny lizard.
There's a lot of spiny lizards.
Do they have like a forest spiny lizard?
I don't know.
What I want to know
Probably.
is there an acacia forest spiny lizard, or can I do any of the Minecraft biomes? And there's a spiny
like a
lizard?
birch. There's a birch forest.
Is there a bamboo forest spiny lizard?
I don't know. I don't think there's a bamboo forest one.
What is this?
I don't remember what this one is. It's more.
Oh, we're on 6. What's 6?
It's more scales.
Those are definitely scales.
Oh, it's throat.
Oh,
These are throat scales.
Okay.
So the throat on this one is also blue. This one looks kind of like blue.
Well, there's no color in the SEM, so
Right.
it's all gray right now.
So
You can see where your scissors went through.
I can see the scissors went through. I was just kind of curious to see if we saw anything on this one.
The tips of the,
The tips are super different.
yeah, they've got a bunch of serrated components to them, but they make W's. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, looks like there's some junk on them.
Looks like there's a lot of gunk on them.
Yeah, probably because up around the head, neck area,
Yeah,
there might be some blood,
that's.
dried blood, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know.
There may be blood.
It may be. So, but red blood cells of lizards are a lot bigger than ours because
Really?
because they have the nucleus in there. So you can actually see them really well under a light microscope. So if
Yeah.
there were any
Problem is when you put them in a vacuum, it puts an end to most of it. Yeah,
explosions,
yeah, it never works out well for cells.
little blood cell explosions,
Right.
so fun.
That's what people are here for. It's the content they came for.
Tiny blood cell explosions. Welcome everyone. Where's the knob? Where's the groove?
You're on it. There you go.
Oh, cool.
See how easy it is once you get it? You get the technique down.
Yeah, once you get the hang
You
of it,
started at this like
it's
an
not
hour
too
ago,
scary.
and now you're an expert.
Now
at
I
it.
can drive it. Yeah, but
As long as the samples are prepared,
as long as
put in the SEM, the height set, the
all of the settings are
the
adjusted.
settings are all perfect. Yeah, then it's easy,
It's easy.
and you have an expert
And
here
you're
to,
right next to me. Yep.
yeah, to help you with it.
Mhm.
There's like a reticulated surface up there at the top again,
Yeah, that's super cool.
and whatever that
These
is,
ridges are cool too.
It looks
Ooh.
like a dragon backbone or something.
It does. Well, I think
So earlier you were saying when lizards molt, or what do they call it? Shed their
Shed their
skin.
skin.
Shed their scales.
yeah.
That they disarticulate.
It does break apart. Yeah, it comes off in pieces.
Yeah. So it's like little patches.
Yeah, like
Doesn't
little
it, like,
patches,
unroll as,
like
like,
a
a whole
glove at a
snake skin or something?
time,
Yeah,
and
okay.
like a jacket.
Again with the
Yeah.
these lizards lost their
Hat.
jacket.
Take its little
Its
toupee
lab
off.
coat. Takes its shoes off. Is something happening in the chat?
That's what I was wondering.
Talking.
Who's talking?
They're talking about the official name for something.
Oh, mountain lizard, desert.
Is this channel streaming layaways things like this? I didn't understand.
I think that's always.
Always.
Oh! Well, it says. Okay. They always tell me to read exactly.
It's a lot of the times SEM.
Oh, I can hear myself.
is
Not in bamboo forest unless the space snails enter. Thank you, Mama Bonbon. Keeping.
Okay.
Continuity.
Yes.
Stream continuity is important.
Space snail.
What do we have left? Anything?
Oh, I think we're good. I think this is the last one, and I'm getting kind of
Hungry?
tired. Yeah, hungry.
Angry, hungry, and tired?
Take a nap.
You know what we need to do then is figure out who we're going to raid.
Ooh.
Do you want to make a decision for us?
Oh gosh. Well, who's streaming right now?
I don't know, but
Correct chemist, Numbiggy, and turtles and chill, but Dr. Stone doesn't allow raiding turtles.
We don't need to just raid the turtles.
what do we want to raid a camera for? Stop it so you can watch the VOD. Okay, we'll try.
All right, cool.
Oh, there's 2 manager things. I guess I could just take this one over to the channel and look up following. Who am I following that we might want to raid? Anyone on there?
I don't. Any one of them. Correct chemist is just chatting. Numb the geek is playing music. Correct.
Super Mario, art, just
Ooh.
chatting.
Any one of them sounds fine. Looks good. Danny's doing art. Ah. So it's Bluesy F-150. Okay, gotcha. Let's drive it forward. Yep.
Aha. In a combine.
Kind of
Yes.
like a snake. Yeah, it is kind of like a snake, just in extra pieces. Yeah. And snakes don't always necessarily shed in one piece. Sometimes they shed in pieces too.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, Mallory, do you have a preference?
I always vote for turtles and chill, so my opinion should not be taken into account.
We can raid the turtles if that's what you really want.
Really?
But with at Monterey Bay.
Let's see, there's a question from
Ooh.
Arcatifus. Can you do false color images from scanning electron microscopes? And the answer is, I do that all the time. And you can check them out on my Instagram account. I always false color stuff.
Instafam.
You can't do it inside the SCM itself. You do it from, like, I use Lightroom and Procreate together. Occasionally Photoshop, but I don't usually need Photoshop to make false color. And sometimes I'll do a little bit of the, so I use Lightroom to get the basic color setup, and then I usually use Procreate right now in my sort of workflow to sort of paint things in if I want to add color to specific areas. And then typically I take that back into Lightroom and fix the sort of noise and color a little bit more. So that definitely happens. All right. I guess I'll slip in here
You can take the controls.
and send us off to somewhere. Turtles and chill. Is that what you really want? What's the
Monterey.
we we already rated them though.
Alright.
It's turtles
And chill.
with the letter N or and
And
and chill. It would be so much better if it was turtles and chili. And they gave out chili. You know what I mean?
I'm thinking about chili a lot. Now that you say chili.
We just had chili the other day. Okay, so Mama Bonbon says, absolutely great job, Sarah. And we definitely want to
Thank
thank
you.
Sarah for bringing
Yeah,
us
so
material.
really, in the silence of the room.
Bringing us the material for today's stream, doing all the hard work of dissecting the lizard on camera, answering everybody's questions, and also doing my job for part of it.
Yeah, that's
just not just sort of hosting the stream, but also running the SEM. So, I mean, I just didn't even need to be here, really.
No, yes. Yes, you do. Yeah, thanks.
Every once in a while.
Thanks so much. This
So,
is
and
fun.
we should thank Mallory as well for
Contributions to today's room.
for hanging out with us and reading some questions and contributing her time. And then we have a whole bunch of people that followed as well. We got raids from Glorgana, and we just got a Leet 0RXOR who just followed this minute, bringing us to 992. We didn't reach our 1,000 followers today, so hopefully we'll just get to celebrate on Saturday, maybe. All right, so yeah, off to our raid. Did it take us yet? When is it gonna take us?
Not sure.
Where did the raid button go?
Where did it go?
Did they turn off or something?
They might have.
So we tried different ones.
Why would they turn off?
I don't know, I can't read. And I accidentally closed the window.
Why would you do that?
I'm an idiot.
Let's see what's going on. Maybe it moved us already. Oh, it did. That's what happened.
So you're just taking a video to talk to this.
It's sent, and then it's just
Oh, I guess I could have checked my phone.
Yeah,
we're rating.
I'm sure they're being invigorated right now. Goodbye.